on the way.
Hello?
Fernando,
I appreciate you calling.
we're going to be thrilled to make you the first pick in the draft here and welcome you to the dark side.
Thank you. Can't wait till it's reward.
Hey, Trade. Clint Kubiak, congratulations.
Thanks, Coach. How you doing?
Hey, I'm great, man. Welcome, man. You can be a captain here, too. I know you've been a captain 3 different times. We need another captain here. What do you think?
Whatever you need, Coach. I got it.
Hello?
Hey, Dalton, John Spytek in Las Vegas. How you doing?
How you doing? I'm doing good. How are you?
You want to come play with your own teammates, Dukes, in Las Vegas?
Coach, you know I do.
Hello?
Hey, Zeke,
Yes, sir.
you want to come to Las Vegas and be a Raider?
Yes, sir. Let's do it.
Hey, Zeke. Coach Kubiak here. How you doing, man?
I'm doing good. How you doing, Coach?
I'm great. Congratulations. Welcome to the team, man.
Appreciate you, Coach. Boy, you
Yeah.
won't regret it. Appreciate you, Coach.
We're excited to have you, man. We need guys that can cover and take the ball away. Are you that guy?
Yes, sir. I'm that guy. Yes, sir. 100%.
Hey, Trey, John Spytek in Las Vegas. How you doing, my friend?
Doing well. How are you?
I'm doing good. You want to be a Raider?
Yes, sir.
All right, man. Well, hey, we're really excited to have you. Love your toughness. Love the way you can play multiple positions in the same game.
Yes, sir. I can't wait.
Hello?
Hey, Mike, John Spytek with the Las Vegas Raiders. You want to be a Raider?
I do. Come on. Let's do it.
All right. Well, you're in. You're on the dark side.
Let's do it, man. Let's do it.
We got a great,
Come on.
plan for you. Billy, this is John Spytek. I'm a GM in Las Vegas. How you doing, my friend?
Man, I'm doing good. How about you?
Good. You want to get on a team and be a Raider?
Hell yeah.
Let's go. We need speed.
Man, I can't wait, man. We're gonna go crazy. Let's go, man.
Welcome to the Silver and Black. Be a
We're
great
gonna
year.
rock. We're gonna rock the hell out. I promise.
Make sure you keep improving when you get here. Got me?
Listen, I got you.
Jamad, how you doing, man?
I'm doing good, Coach. How you doing?
Man, I hope you're as fired up as I am to get you here, brother.
Welcome to the dark side, my friend.
Let's go! Let's go today!
All that matters is today. Stick compressing, man. 3.5 hours, do the together, man. It starts with us, it ends with us.
Hey, no cheers!
Come
on, boys, let's go now!
This is no ordinary job.
That silver and black's different.
This is the Silver and Black.
It just hits different.
This is the Raiders.
Got locked in now, laser focus! Hey, this could get interesting.
Ride for the brand. The greatness of the Raiders lies in its future. Okay, the best is yet to come.
I'm officially a Raider. I'm excited to be humble and hungry and get to work.
That's a big boy football, right? You got Moss. That's what you want to see right there.
The grit of this franchise sticks out. This is a historic franchise. You know, it's really important to me that we're a gritty team, that the way that they were back in the old days.
Just amazing concentration.
But why not us? Why not this staff? You know, why not this group of players?
There's a certain mentality and play style that's expected from different organizations. Right.
Go make a play, fellas! Go make a play!
I just want to do my 111. I believe that leadership is earned. It's not given.
I feel like I've always been meant to be a Raider.
Let's go, Joseph, fight!
That first step was transferring and challenging myself, being in an uncomfortable environment. Because when you're uncomfortable, you're able to grow. It's the motto of the Raiders. Once a Raider, always a Raider.
That's what we're going to be about, winning.
Everything we got!
Thank you. God bless. Thank you guys for coming.
Shift your perspective from looking at individual star power to focusing on depth, adaptabilities, and specific scheme fits. With 2 weeks until camp kicks off, here's how you should evaluate the up-and-coming weeks. Welcome to Bart. The Bay Boys are in your area.
Pick-a-boo!
The Bay Boys in your area. Don't nothing to stop. The Bart keeps rolling.
I got a 2-year, so we got to get with the
keeps rolling. You feel me? Let's get it going. What's good? Yes,
go,
you with You with the Raider bad guy. I'm affectionately known now as the Raider bad guy.
That is.
When I'm doing my analytical and all that, I'm Black the quarterback.
But
when we chopping it up, now I'm the Raider bad guy. Make way for the bad guy, because there's a bad guy coming through.
Yeah.
But then with the bad comes the good. So we got the good Raider.
We got no one in chat yet. So that was great because I didn't know you were gonna do that. So that's good explanation because I didn't see that coming. So when they arrive, we gonna let them know. Now it's just good and bad. Boom.
Yeah, now it's just good and bad. You gotta pay attention to the good and the bad. A lot of people just look for the good. That's why. Yeah,
the horns, baby.
What's good with it? Make sure y'all hit that like button as y'all come in, when y'all come in, because
there's no one yet, so we're still good. We're still vibing. If you are coming in, we're gonna have a lot of announcements today, as y'all can see, because the other announcement is the Good Raider is also on Twitch now. So right now we are streaming on YouTube and Twitch at the same time. Hell yes, you can join. What up, Brooke?
Yeah.
Where you from? What Raider? What part of Raider Nation you from?
Yes. Let us know. So check it out. So, man, training camp is within a couple weeks, man.
How many more days exactly? I think it's less than 2 weeks.
It's less than 2 weeks. I'm not counting the days yet. I don't like to count down days until it get like 2 or 3 days before, and then it's time to get ready.
Hey, Brooke, you better not be a troll because I'm gonna throw you out here so damn quick.
Yeah. So
you got 3. It looks like you got 3 beautiful girls, beautiful daughters.
Silver and black. Silver and black. So like camp is within a couple weeks. People are getting excited. I think one of the major things that people are excited about is the Mendoza Cousins quarterback competition, which I don't think there is a quarterback competition. There's media members trying to stir it up, and there's a lot of Raider fans has taken the bait, and then that's why they get their feelings hurt when things don't happen the way they perceive. So
we're talking about quarterback now, right? Especially for camp. So
what you think about that?
So here's the question. We might have a troll, but that's actually
I'm watching.
I'm fine with that.
I'm watching.
Yeah. Do you think the biggest news of training camp is going to be the quarterback position?
No, I don't.
That's a question. That's a legit question for Raider Nation. Like I think the national media wants to talk about that all the time, but Raider Nation, we're just like, no, that's not the biggest story going into camp. I mean, at least for me, because having Mendoza just solidifies the quarterback of the future. Now we just don't have to worry about that anymore, at least for the first. And I've said this, once you get that rookie quarterback, you don't have to think about that anymore for at least 4 or 5 years. And that's if the quarterback is bad, right? That's if he's bad, not even if he's good. If he's good, you're good for 10 to 12 years. But if he's bad, okay.
That's my guy, Macho Man Randy Average.
Oh, Randy, what up?
That's my boy.
I think we had one troll, but
no, it wasn't 2, bro.
Yeah, they weren't quite excessive yet, but you got to get ahead of those things. So with Randy here,
name.
Yes. So what's going on?
No, he had changed I think he changed his name on the thing, so I couldn't recognize who he was.
So he is Brooke.
No, I don't know, but I just know he went back to.
Well, for you, Randy, here's a question. Because I take it you're part of Raider Nation.
No, he's a Steeler fan. So he's part of my up gang. He's a longtime member of.
Yeah, because if it's a Steeler fan, they actually do have a quarterback problem in Steeler Nation. They ain't got one. They don't have a future quarterback, right? They've got Aaron Rodgers, who hopefully he doesn't break a leg and he's good, but they drafted somebody, didn't they, to try and get a future? But for Raider Nation showing up, is the QB position the most important question in training camp? Let us know, Black. What's your thought on that?
I think that's the least position that we need to be focusing on. I think this is the reason why we're going to really talk about the show is what are some of the things we should be looking at instead of getting caught up in the big media media stories? Because let's start with that quarterback position. Like, people think that a lot of because you're saying that we don't have to worry about that for a few years. I would think the ones that's thinking will understand, yes, we have our future quarterback. We've always been trying to troll around, look around and see if we can get one, but we always were a little too high to get a high draft one.
Draft pick.
And then one in the middle is too far away to grab one. So what we did was we kind of just milled around. We finally found ourselves in a position where we could do that. So we did that. And so now we know what we have going on in the future. We don't have to worry about the quarterback. Now the issue is now people are like, well, why don't we just put him in? Because we were the number one. He was the number one pick. Now, if we were number two and picked him first, does that mean we don't start him? Because it just doesn't make sense. They're making a lot of noise. A lot of fans are making noise about him starting game one when the franchise clearly has said that we weren't going to start him game one.
Right.
And all signs point to that. But they still want to ask this question. But what if he plays like this in the preseason? Like, it's not going to matter, man, because they have a plan and they're not going to deviate from the plan.
Yeah. Okay. Those are really good points. And let me try, since there's no one here to hit you back with a little pow, pow, pow. Let me try and be the voice of the other side here and say, I think part of the Mendoza-Cousins conversation really does come down to the excitement that Raider Nation hasn't had since pre-Jamarcus Russell, right? People may think that Raiders run through quarterbacks like it's nobody's business, but no, we don't. We don't run through that many quarterbacks at all. It's just that we haven't been able to find a consistently good quarterback. When you're talking about the draft and quarterbacks, the teams that get the most drafted quarterbacks are the New York teams. Like, compare the Raiders to the New York teams and how many quarterbacks they've drafted. In the past 6 years, how many quarterbacks of the New York teams drafted? At this point, we're talking primarily the New York Jets, right? Who burned through first-round picks like it's nobody's business. You see, the thing is, the Raiders haven't had that opportunity because we've never had a chance to get a quarterback. But now that we do, I think a lot of fans are so excited to see this process started that the idea of waiting one more year or even 6 more months is like, no, man, just put him in Mendoza right now because that hype is so high. We just want to see the ball rolling. But the other thing that we're not used to is just an organization with a plan. And that's the part that I think you're alluding to, is that, no, these guys actually have a plan. This is not some ridiculous, let's just throw something at the wall and see what happens. John Spytek and Clint Kubiak and Tom Brady and even Mark Davis have stated over and over again, there is a plan now. We're not just throwing something at the wall and seeing what sticks. We're going to follow a formula, and we're going to follow that formula to success. And part of that formula is not throwing your quarterback into a super complex offense. Because, again, remember, part of King Kubiak's genius is his offensive playbook. If Mendoza is not ready to run that offense, it will hurt the Raiders in the long run. And I do believe that that's what Clint Kubiak has been alluding to. Is like, this offense is going to be complex. We're trying to install an offense for the next 10 to 15 to 20 years, and that's going to take time. And the last thing you need for that is a rookie quarterback to really come in and kind of start messing those things up. So having Cousins there does help with that process.
Yeah, plus, why would you throw your franchise quarterback out there with the risk of if something were to happen to him, right?
Mm-hmm.
That would set our franchise. That would set back our franchise again of at least 2 or 3 years. I mean, because we already haven't been in that position already. Then we get in the position and then we put him out there. I mean, he really haven't had a real full camp yet. Because in a rookie year, you're doing so many things, you don't have time to really sit down, process, and get a system for yourself. That's why you watch your Kirk Cousins. That's why you watch
I got a point on that to
you
make
can learn. So you can learn how to do those things and then learn how to develop yourself. You can't tell me that he's developed from Heisman quarterback to NFL starter that's better than a 15-year veteran. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not talking about a veteran who's not capable of starting, because usually the number one quarterback comes into a situation where the quarterback isn't that good. That's why they went and got a quarterback, because the one that they have aren't that good. They're not starting. They don't want to put the franchise on their back. So
Cousins is, and I did. If you still have more thoughts, I'll let you go after this one quick point, and I have another point to make. I did watch some videos to get ready for this for the stream, and I did happen to run into Cousins playing, I believe, the Seahawks last year, and Cousins can still move. I definitely noticed, like, oh yeah, no, he can still move. He's not Joe Flacco in the box. He will be able to move his feet, even though Joe Flacco doesn't even need to move his feet, because he knows the game so well that he just kind of knows where everything's happening. Cousins is kind of that, but Cousins can still move. So for those who might doubt a bit, yeah, just go watch Cousins last year and at least realize that, yeah, no, his feet are still moving pretty well for his age, and that should be good. But you actually mentioned the biggest point, that is, I'm gonna put it this way: people think that Mendoza has just been training since he won the Heisman of the national championship. He hasn't, because he has to do a bunch of stuff because he won all of those things. Remember the ESPYs. He had to be at the ESPYs. He had to get ready for the ESPYs. His mom was there. His whole family was there, planning all of that. Why? Because Mendoza is not just the number one overall pick. He won the Heisman and he won the national championship. That means the entire NFL world actually is calling him to appear at events, because they kind of need him to, because that's what comes with being who you are as a championship winning college quarterback. And yes, he won the award for best college player in college. And guess what? If you're going to win awards like that, you have to show up to those events, because those events promote your team, they promote your teammates, they promote Indiana, the college, and they also promote the Raiders. So no, Mendoza in his first year has more to do than just being on the practice field, whereas Kirk Cousins, at this point, his only job is just to try and get a Super Bowl if he wants any part of his legacy to remain or to be remembered.
Yeah, or if you want to try to make one more contract for a couple years.
One more, exactly.
Macho Man.
Go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead.
So Macho Man says, I like the idea of Mendoza sitting behind Cousins and getting the system down instead of throwing him into the wolves statistically. Just throwing him in there isn't the best option. And that's what we have been saying. I'm going to let you go in 1 second after I make one more quick point. And again, we've said this over and over. The Raiders are trying to build a dynasty, a legacy franchise. It's not just about let's just go out there and play football and figure it out. If we're going to bank on Clint Kubiak's offense being complex enough to where he can always make adjustments when needed, then we're going to have to understand that a one-year rookie, even if that rookie is Heisman Trophy winning, national championship winning, may not be ready for that kind of responsibility. And also remember that Mendoza, even though I do believe he's a great quarterback, did not run on the center for most of his college career. Now, am I saying that's a red flag? No. I'm not. I am saying, though, he needs to get back that repetition into his system. I'm a gamer, so I'll just put it this way. If you play Street Fighter, you can play Street Fighter in one way. You can go in there, go into ranked, and get your butt kicked all over the place. Or you can go in the back, go into training mode, really know your arts before you go into a competitive game. Clint Kubiak is not going to throw his NFL career in the hands of a rookie quarterback who might not know his playbook. And that's just Clint Kubiak just being a wise coach who wants to be a Hall of Famer, just like his father, right? His father should be close to a Hall of Famer.
Yeah, I would surmise that he would get in. Yeah, I mean, like, if you have the option, like Macho Man, he's not a Raider fan, and he understands, even from a non-biased, non-emotional aspect is like, look, statistically, it just doesn't make sense to put him in there. 25, 82, and 2. The last 10 years, then when the number one pick was a quarterback, and you stick him in there, that's what happens. But, I understand some people or fans don't care about that. They just want to go with their heart and put him out there. But we do have a long-term plan. That's why we have adults in the building now, because all we've been doing is doing all these impulsive things, trying to build from the player up instead of from the franchise top down. And so now that we're doing the right things, people are crashing out, and I'm like, now is the time that you should be excited and patient. You've been patient through all these other regimes, and we weren't going nowhere. They didn't even have a plan. We actually have a plan now. But when you have other people like Pedersen saying things, and then it gives you that implicit biasness, and then you just want to say, see, it just doesn't make sense. Like it doesn't make sense what he's saying.
Can you play the Peterson video 1 second? And I'm going to give an answer to Sosa. I see your question. I see you there, Sosa. I see you. Just give me 1 second. Let's play the Peterson video. Then I got an answer for you, my man.
Yeah.
Yes, because Doug Peterson did come out this week and said that he thinks Mendoza should start week 1.
Let's get this guy out there week 1. Let's start having our growing pains week 1. Let's not prolong it into October, November, or later in the season when maybe the season's over. I think it's very beneficial. I remember having a conversation with Coach McDermott when he drafted Josh Allen, and he called me and he says, Doug, what do you think? Well, how did you handle Carson Wentz? And I said, if you think that Josh Allen is your guy, you need to get him out there week 1, and he did that. There were a lot of growing pains in that first year, and they weathered that storm, and now look where Buffalo is. Kirk Cousins is a solid number 2 that you can rely on, and I think he's a great mentor for Fernando. So I think this is a win-win, I think, at quarterback, for the Raiders.
Okay, you have a rebuttal to that? I mean, I know your Raider Nation knows your thoughts, but break it down for us.
Well, for one, okay, let's talk about who he's talking about. McDermott came to him and asked him, what would you do, right? First of all, McDermott ain't with your boy no more, with Josh Allen no more. So he wasn't able to get it done for whatever reason, right? So he's not even with McDermott. McDermott ain't even with him no more. Okay, let's talk about your boy Peterson Peterson.
Carson Wentz.
Yeah, when we talk about Carson Wentz, exactly. he didn't have too good a career. Matter of fact, he went from being all the way up here to where he's struggling to be a backup right now. Like, he never got back on track. His career got derailed. He got injured. And the only reason why Peterson is even relevant is because Nick Foles, which the GM brought in week 14, saved his legacy. Because had not Peterson got that Super Bowl, we wouldn't even be talking about him. Matter of fact, we don't even talk about him outside of the Philly, whatever that call was, the Philly special or whatever. We don't even talk about him outside of that. Now, what did he do after he left there? Because they was going up and down. Carson Wentz kept getting hurt. They eventually traded Carson Wentz, and they got rid of Peterson. So where did he go? To Jacksonville. Where'd they give him? A fresh quarterback out the box. Who'd they give him? Trevor Lawrence. He couldn't manage Trevor Lawrence either. Right. They got him out of there quick. And now you see where Trevor Lawrence is developing into a top-tier quarterback. I mean, he got honorable mention this year, but his numbers was top 10 for sure. But they want to see him do it for multiple seasons because he's been going on that roller coaster that Peterson was just talking about. And that roller coaster that McDermott was going on, listen to Peterson, got you kicked out just like Peterson got kicked out.
Right. Okay. Wow. Okay, that was good. You should have put yourself in the big screen for that. That was great. Okay, so let me hit with a few counters. Our regulars are not here yet to give you a rebuttal. So you guys can give your rebuttal on screen. If there is to be a rebuttal, it is this. That, the growing pains is precisely what he's talking about. Josh Allen did not have a good first year, but hey, he's good now. Trevor Lawrence did not have a good first couple of years, but hey, he's good now. That's the growing pains, right? That's the concept that there's people who want Mendoza to start. That's what they're hinting at. Like, look, he won't be good his first year, but again, why not just throw him in just to get those things over with? and I'm going to have a rebuttal to that. That is this. People keep thinking the entire focus of Las Vegas Raiders is to make sure to put all of the attention on Mendoza. And we're telling you that no, our team has been bad for so long. We're trying to build the entire team. There's a reason why everyone in the Raiders offense and defense are generally around 25 and 26 years old, and everyone has a 3-year contract. This is not just a can we get a Mendoza Hall of Fame quarterback? This is a can we build a team? And building a team, I feel like, begins with something more than just start your rookie quarterback week 1 when you have a veteran who's ready to go with a bunch of other players who need to learn the playbook. It's not just that Mendoza needs to learn the playbook. It's that everyone on that offense needs to learn the playbook. And it just so happens that the person that knows the playbook the most is Kirk Cousins. So if you have a quarterback who already knows the playbook the most, it makes more sense to have him run the playbook while everybody else who, again, are young and are going to be looking for a contract while they learn while they learn the playbook. I think that idea makes more sense logically than just throw Mendoza out there.
Here's an excellent comment by my boy Macho Man Randy Average. He says, what he said would make sense if there wasn't a gap between playing at the collegiate level and playing at the professional level.
Exactly.
And you know what? See, this is why Macho Man is my guy. And people that know me from Business Decision Sports, because I usually talk about all sports, but I kind of centered in Raider Nation because I saw this nation unraveling, and I had to deep dive and get into the trenches to see what was going on, because I was looking from the outside looking in, and now I know what's going on. It's a lot of emotionalism going on. Right. It's a lot of sabotaging going on, and what I'm understanding is all Raider fans are not built the same now. And I hate to, and that's a whole nother conversation. But to keep it on track though, like Macho Man said, if there wasn't no gap in between there, and if it wasn't no gap quarterback, we got a gap quarterback. We went and got a gap quarterback. That's something that's not normally done. Usually when the quarterback comes in, there's a backup that's like a third string that's overachieving that second string, or maybe he's just a second string that might can win you a couple games, but you don't want to put him as the franchise, or you don't think he's going to make it through the whole year. There's a reality to that, because if those guys weren't like that, they wouldn't be backups. They'll be starters somewhere. And Kirk Cousins has not been a number 2 quarterback. Even when they tried to make him a number 2 quarterback behind Penix, you saw what happened. They put Penix in there. He played good a little bit, got hurt like normal because he's injury prone. Then they put Cousins in there. Cousins come and win the last 4 games. We didn't win 4 games all last year. He won 4 games in a row. But we question how good he is. I question how good you watch football, because I mean, like, you think that he's old now. Like he was 1 year removed from his injury. He just now getting his footing back. Like this is usually play a year off this injury. And I'm pretty sure if Aaron Rodgers, old butt, can run around there and evade taking the big hits because he's a KG vet, he knows the timing in his head, he knows how to play ball. You cannot look at the empirical facts of how he even played as recent as last year. Like you said, you looked at the film, you've seen it. The only thing that could happen is if Kirk Cousins hits a wall between here and training camp or here in the first game of the season. If he doesn't hit a wall, then there's no way that Mendoza is going to start. And I've seen that a mile away, especially with the offense that we're trying to run, especially with all the new pieces that we have. And to your point, yes, we're trying to build a team. This is not the Las Vegas Mendozas. Like, what are we talking about?
That's it. And I think it's this idea. It is the idea of the savior, in that, especially in sports, fans love the savior idea, especially if your franchise has been struggling. But we do got to remind people, football has 11 people on all sides of the game. Offense is 11, defense is 11, and those 11 are completely different 11s, right? They're not, those are different 11s. So if you think that Mendoza coming in will just save the day, it's like, well, no, actually, let's not F this guy's career up when the team itself isn't even ready for him. right? Again, how many new players have the Raiders signed this year? We've signed so many new players. We don't even know who works well together. We might get to week 1 and just start finding players punching each other in the face. I don't think that's going to happen, but you get the idea.
Right.
I mean, even Nakobe Dean and Quay Walker that I love, they haven't played together since Georgia. I think if we're considering the fact that NFL players want to use their brains and understand that they're trying to accomplish a mission, which is to win the Super Bowl, that even they're not going to try to rush in a rookie quarterback until they can be sure that that is the only option, especially when a much respected quarterback is in the building, right?
Now that I think about it,
go ahead.
Now that I think about it, he should sit the whole year dang near. Because
Captain, I guarantee you're afraid of us. I guarantee you're afraid of Captain Stiff Stocks. I'll let him finish, and I'm gonna put the fear of God in you. If you're not afraid, you will be. You can finish though.
Yeah, it just doesn't make sense to really put him out there because not only do we have a new offense, we have a new defense. Like I can see really him sitting for the full year. Now, me personally, I think he could come in at some point at the end of the year. Like, but that's barring an injury. Like I let Kirk Cousins go out there and ball out till he fall out. That's it. Don't put the pressure on. Don't put the pressure on. And the thing about it is when they say the best player gonna play, they all know what that means. Like we don't know what it means for some reason, but the best player is obviously Kirk Cousins. They're not even close to each other. But I don't know. Even if Kirk Cousins, even if Mendoza was to play at a high level, right? That just means he's getting it. That doesn't mean he's ready. That means he's getting it. Like you said, let's get the team ready for him first.
Because there is a difference between understanding the playbook and knowing the playbook in depth. In depth meaning, that's just the difference between an amateur and a professional, right? By the way, till week 1 of the NFL game, Mendoza's not even an NFL footballer yet. Just so you don't know, he's not considered a professional till week 1. He hasn't played a game yet. And putting that against a 14-year vet who already has a very good knowledge of this is great. But Captain Stiff Stocks, I'm gonna need you to sit down for a second because I don't know what you mean by we have no wide receivers. By the way, when people say you have no wide receivers, do people literally think that every team just starts their NFL career with a good wide receiver? Wide receivers have to become good. So when you tell a team they have no good wide receivers, you're just saying you didn't have a 1,000-yard wide receiver last year. Oh, okay. CeeDee Lamb had to gain 1,000 yards before he became CeeDee Lamb, didn't he? Oh, no. We've got wide receivers. You're just saying that we didn't go out and buy one that was already made. Well, guess what? We don't need to buy somebody in every single position. So I would say, no, look again. There are receivers there. You may not like the receivers there because you prefer the $80 million guy who's already well established. But hey, guess what? The $80 million guy worked his ass off to become $80 million. Yeah, you're telling me that Trey Tucker can't do that? Oh, yeah, you can. You telling me that Malik Benson can't do that? Oh, yeah, you can. Will they do that? That's up to them. But when you say we have no receiver, just understand that what you're saying is we didn't go out and buy a receiver. And no, we did not do that. But don't say we don't have a receiver. We got plenty of those. And nobody's afraid of them. Okay. Again, there's a reason we play the game. Nobody's afraid of us? Sure. Week 1 hasn't started yet. But we got the coach, didn't we? We got the QB. We got the O-line. You don't have to be afraid. We will make you afraid. So that's what I got to say to that. Thanks for coming in, though, Captain Stiff Stocks. I love that name. But no, on the real point, that is a point to mention, this idea that you don't have this, you don't have that. You mean we don't have that yet. That's why coaching exists. That's why players go from rookies to Pro Bowl level to Hall of Fame level. Everybody gets there. So that's all I got on that one. Yo, Frank Weber, welcome in. You don't even remember Jim Plunkett in New England. Oh, Rich Gannon where was Rich Gannon before us? Broncos or Vikings?
Rich Gannon played for I wouldn't say
Kansas City.
I was about to say the Chiefs, but
yeah, no, he played some for Kansas City.
Yeah, but I was trying to remember if he played there right before the Raiders. I think he played with a team after Kansas City before. I'll find out.
Okay,
But
Captain. Let me keep talking to this Captain Stiff Stocks because we are doing a whole lot of talking, brother. You're doing a whole lot of talking. You ain't backing none of it up. Mendoza would not have been number one pick in 90% of drafts. In 90% of drafts, first of all, how are you judging 90%? I'm assuming you're a bot because I don't know how you're coming up with 90% of drafts. In 90% of drafts, 90%. In all of draft, in the entire history of the NFL. Should I block you now? Or should I block you later, Captain? Hey, do me a favor. Go get some Crunch, put some milk in it, swallow some of that, and then come back and repeat the statement. Mendoza would not have been number in 90% of drafts. 90%. No. Anyways, but you're good, yo. You're good. Let's face it. We are building a team, true. And when building a team, it makes sense that the last piece that you add are the ones with the shortest shelf life. Perfect. He's a second round at best, and that's a so what college do you coach for, Captain Stiff Stocks? What NFL playbooks do you write? Look, here's the thing. Anyone can make those kinds of statements. I'm not saying not going to respond to them much because anyone can make those kinds of statements. Like he's a second round quarterback at best. Okay, according to whom? Your grandma? I
mean, but even statements like that is weird because like
Right.
that would assume that all the other quarterbacks got placed in the right place. Like,
Yeah.
no, that's not really how that works. Like, but even if you would say, okay, he wouldn't have been number one in this year's draft or last year's draft or next year's draft, we're not in those years'
We're
draft.
not in those.
The
Yeah,
year's draft
exactly.
that we're in is this year. So
Well, he thinks-
when people make these delusional or off base or hypothetical situations, that's just not reality, which tells me what they're saying isn't based in
Exactly.
reality.
And as much as I would love to keep talking to you, I mean, you keep proving the point for us because you say you're hyping it up because he's a Raider fan, and you're hyping him down because you're not a Raider fan. What's your point?
Right.
You think it's gonna be great because you're a Raider fan. Yeah, I think it's gonna be because I'm a Raider fan, and you're a Bronco fan. Of course, you don't think it. Just like I think Patrick Mahomes is never gonna win a Super Bowl ever again because I'm not a Chiefs fan. So yeah, no, we got that. Oh
I remember. You're right. He played with Minnesota. Gannon played with Minnesota.
Yeah. Gannon played with Minnesota.
Yeah.
Yep.
And he said in 1970, the New England Patriots, they appointed Plunkett as their savior, and that set him back 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
And what people don't understand is if something was to happen, which is likely to happen because it's happened to even the best, the Joe Burrows, and all that. So it can set you back. Now, if you do come back from an injury or a bad year and have a good year that following year, that's cool because that just means you're good enough to start. But you're either equal with the NFL or behind the learning curve. Now, what happened those other years, subsequent years? Do you go up and down, up and down? Now you fighting injury. That's how your confidence is going to go. Why do that when you can have him sit, have him learn? He feel like he's mentally prepared. You stick him out there. No, that doesn't mean he's going to win 10 games, but he go in there and win 6 games. He understands, oh, that's my floor. That's not my ceiling. Versus if I stick him in game 1 and then we win 4 games or something, 5 games. And if you win 6 games or 7 games, you're like, oh my God, the second year. Then you're like, oh gosh, that was hard or whatever. But if you start off there by watching, your confidence is different. It's just different. And not only that, it's already statistically been kind of put out there that when you sit, it gives you the best chance to win, and it doesn't have to be the very first pick of the draft. Let's just look at the first round quarterbacks in general. Matter of fact, the best quarterback of our time right now, sad. He's sad.
Yeah,
he sat down. Who's better than him? Who's better than him? Any of the quarterbacks that they even put next to him, they played first, but there's a big gap between that person, which is Joe Burrow, which is what's my guy name in with the Buffalo?
Josh Allen?
What's the quarterback in Buffalo? Josh Allen. Yeah, it's a big gap between Josh Allen and Joe Burrow and
Cousins
and Mahomes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So real quick, Captain Stipstock, just to put it in actual structure to the point that I'm making. Yeah, you said Mendoza is the second round QB at best. The guy won the national championship. You literally cannot get more first than that. Literally, in all of college, he's number one because he won the trophy that mattered. Like, if so you're claiming what the other better quarterbacks. Okay, so what did they do? Did they win an Heisman? No. Did they win a championship? No. So I did better. So that's the point. It's like your argument is already destroyed. The guy won the
emotional damage.
Emotional damage, yeah. You literally cannot get better than winning the Natty. So he won with some amazing wide receivers, which of course they're not, because statistically speaking, these receivers were not known as amazing wide receivers.
Right, that's why they didn't go.
Nobody even knew who his receivers were.
Right, where did they get drafted?
The only reason these receivers are getting drafted is because of him. Again, just stop, Captain, and just think to yourself, ask yourself, what team do I like? If it's not the Raiders, are you saying what you're saying because you don't like the Raiders? Is that your point? No, team as a whole is very good. It wasn't Mendoza. But if Mendoza wasn't in there, would they have won a national championship? If Mendoza wasn't in there, would Mendoza have won a Heisman Trophy? That is a definite no. Only Mendoza can win an Heisman Trophy as Mendoza. So without Mendoza, they just don't win anything. You see what I'm saying? Like you're judging them against something that doesn't exist. Well, it was the entire team. Okay. And he was the leader of the entire team. That makes sense? Okay.
Macho Man
it's okay to be a Bronco fan. Dude, here's what it really is. I know NFL teams are really scared of the Raiders now, especially if you play in the West or in the AFC. You don't have to say that you are, but you know that you are. Because if the Raiders start doing good and things start rolling, you're going to be hearing so much Raiders that it's going to be annoying. We know. That's what people don't want. They don't want annoying Raider fans who are happy.
Oh, well, get ready. Macho Man said to the Yens, he said, last point, Cleveland had 25 saviors in the last 26 years. Mm-hmm. But to put all that pressure on a guy who doesn't know the playbook is just irresponsible to not only the player but the fans. And you know what? And you gotta keep that's why you don't listen to the fans. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Because the fans are having you doing irresponsible things because they're giving you a knee-jerk reaction. Mm-hmm. Yeah, because they're not basing it on a plan.
Facts. They're basing it on emotion in that particular moment. It's not even like they've thought about it. It's just that particular moment, right? Like right now, you come into chat and you're in that particular moment where you say something like Mendoza's not as good as 90% of quarterbacks draft. It's like 90% of what? You're throwing out random numbers because you don't want Mendoza to have to be good. In your mind, you need him to be bad. So you're just going to throw out random numbers. And then when we bring up, well, he won this. Well, he didn't do it by himself. Well, he won that. Well, he had help, okay? Football is a team sport.
Then, because he has Signetti.
And Mendoza,
because he's 28 years old. Because he played like this. Because it's everything.
It's just whenever people are just great, you know how many excuses just comes up. This is why they're just like, no, man, just say they're great. That's it. He won a national championship. He won an Heisman Trophy. Trust me, nobody's afraid of the Raiders. No, trust me, you are here because you are afraid of the Raiders.
So whoever this troll is with this account, whatever, you could. It's all good. Just before we read another one of your comments, before we even talk to you any more of your comments, we need to know what team you represent.
Yeah. Let me know what teams you represent. Yeah. Because
so let's get into
because you might be 12 or 13 years old. I don't know, but basically everything you're saying is like that. This is not how you talk unless you're just a hater, and there's a lot of Raider haters.
Oh yeah, it's a lot of them. There's some even that wear Raider patches. because I think because they really want to. You know what? Somebody told me this earlier. They said a lot of these fans want to be so right about what they're saying is that they want that Mendoza to go out there and then not play well, or I mean Kirk Cousins to go out there not play well so Mendoza can play. It's not because they don't even like Mendoza, because those are the same people that were saying trade back or he wasn't a quarterback that would have been number one in this draft. And it's a lot of them fans that's doing that. So that's why I say all these fans aren't created equal, and I have to start paying attention because I'm like, wait a minute. I thought it was really one nation. I thought, all right, if they're saying this is our quarterback, then we all should rally behind that guy. That's what Max Crosby was doing. That's why I know he's a consummate Raider, because it don't matter who they put in front of him, he gonna die for them. And then right, wrong, or indifferent, he did that with AP. He did that for Pete Carroll. He did that for everybody. And then the only thing happened was he got vilified for that. And then they started talking about he was this and he was that. And when he embodies the true nature of what a real friend is, like being a real pro is, and a real Raider. So people that have problem with the Max Crosby's, people that got problem with Mendoza starting game one after they already told you that he's not. All these people, they're not really for the Raiders. They're not representing the brand. Now, I'm gonna give them some grace though, because I'm gonna be like, you just in your feelings because you got PTSD, post-traumatic Super Bowl deficiency, so you don't know what it's like. So I'm just gonna be a little patient, but I'm not gonna sit here and let you just run around and start little campfires all over the nation, because eventually it's gonna set a blaze, because it almost did the last 2 years.
Now, here's the thing, though, Captain Stocks. I feel your pain. I'm with you. You know, here's the thing. We took your quarterback away from you, and we got him to admit that your entire legacy was built on a botched play that you didn't deserve. So no, I know you want the Raiders to be bad, because if the Raiders were not bad, that means that Tom Brady really is the greatest football mind in the history of the NFL, and you guys let him go for pennies. I feel your pain. But to more directly answer your question, though, so Drake May is your quarterback, and I'm going to assume that you think that Drake May is, in fact, a better quarterback than Mendoza, right? Because Drake May did start year one. So question, if you were drafting Mendoza or Drake May, what is the one reason you will have drafted Drake May over Mendoza? And please give me an actual answer and not because Drake May is good. All right. Mendoza, massive. Ooh, whoa. Let me play with my brother. Give me just a little 2 more minutes. Let me just play with this brother. Massive weakness in pocket movement. Massive weakness for a guy who led the college in yards, or at least maybe it didn't lead top 5 in yards and touchdown. Massive. Okay. Please look up the definition of the word massive, because I think you're using that way incorrectly in that particular statement. Sorry, bud. Okay, let's shut him down. He's not quick. Marcus Allen thinks Mendoza is being praised too high. He won the national championship. I'm sorry. Who else are we gonna praise?
Marcus Allen also said we have a wide receiver one also, which is Trey Tucker. Will you does the same apply?
You obviously buy that too.
Yeah, I do.
Okay, six Cap. What if somebody says Tom Brady was terrible? It would have been bad if not for Belichick. Or Belichick was bad. It would have been bad if not for Tom Brady, which is exactly what people say about New England's team, right? But obviously, both of those statements are complete nonsense. Come on, Stocks. Come on, man. Get out of here with that. No more nonsense. He's not quick. I don't know what that means.
Who, Drake May?
I know. I think he's talking about Mendoza.
Oh.
He's not quick. Well, he is, but he doesn't need to be. I don't know what that means. I don't know what you're talking about. Okay, let's move on.
So training camp, though, because, obviously, like we just spent a lot of time even just talking about that, which is really a non-issue because Mendoza's not starting game one. I don't care if he throws 6 touchdowns for 500 yards, no interceptions in preseason.
I mean, at that point, you might get me to stop and be like, "Oh, yo, what? You throw 6 touchdowns in the preseason?
Yeah, but preseason game ain't nothing like a real game.
Hey, look, there comes a point where hype is just too much. That's the point where I'm probably gonna hop in and say, "Yeah, no, start the kid."
And so there was a quarterback that did that. Threw for like 400 and some yards, had 5 touchdowns, no interceptions. He was for Miami. He made the roster though. He was a seventh round quarterback. I can't remember his name, but either way it go, Tua got hurt. Bridgewater got hurt. He came in. He didn't play nothing. He didn't play like that because preseason ain't the regular season, and he's not even Tyler Huntley.
Tyler Huntley, yeah.
He used to play for so it doesn't translate. It doesn't necessarily translate. Preseason games don't translate because the defense aren't the same. Not only that, you're not playing against the ones religiously all game long. Like, it's not the same. So, which brings us to what should we be looking for in training camp? When you look at training camp, how do you view it? What's your focal points and what's your perspective, and how do you make determinations, and
that's a great question.
What are you looking for?
That's a great question. Are you saying that if I was the coach?
No, even if you was a fan, but if you were. Well, that's a great question. That's a great question because as a fan and maybe as a coach is different, and maybe I'm looking at it more as a coach than as a fan. Okay, so that's a great question. Yeah, I'm looking at it as a coach.
Well, as a coach, I'm looking for scheme fit. Because if you, we're gonna, it's still early. Oh, still plenty of time. Because we're gonna talk about defense after this segment. We're gonna talk about defense and what I think the Raiders are gonna do now. Because I've been looking at some Seattle defense for the last year, and I'm realizing more to some crazy degrees. I'm gonna show you some facts that you're gonna be like, "Whoa, shit, I didn't know that." But yeah, I think scheme fit is generally what training camp is for. Who's going to fit what we're trying to do the best? And in some areas on offense seems a lot more secure in terms of who I think is going to start where than defense. So I do think a lot of the conversation will be on defense. So really for me, the number one thing I'm looking for in training camp is who's going to fit the defensive scheme the best, because that's going to show us what kind of scheme we're really going to be running.
Yeah, that's true. What Macho Man said, no one talks about preseason after the season is over. They talk about regular season and postseason. That's the point. And I need to highlight that because we're making a big deal of preseason because we were waiting on football to start again.
Mm-hmm.
And the only time you really bring up preseason is when you're trying to make a point that's kind of far-fetched a little bit. It's almost like going back to a player at college. Like, he played this way in college when he already 3 years into the league. Like, it's a stretch, right? This is what I'm saying. Like, you can evaluate them the same because, like you said, if the leap from college to pro wasn't as significant as it was, then you know what I'm saying. Then it wouldn't be a thing. So, but it is a thing. So just like there's a leap between the preseason and regular season, so you can look at a veteran and a rookie or whatever, and if they play comparable, you can be like, well, we can put him out there, put the rookie out there. Like no, the rookie haven't seen the defenses still. They haven't blitzed them. You haven't had a team to take a week to game plan just for you. Like you don't even know what the speed of the game is like. Like,
right. So, and I think a lot of that comes I think a lot of that comes down to the experience, that because people don't. It's easy for people to dismiss experience in the sense that learning is acquiring experience. People often will think learning is you just doing the thing and not you like watching the thing being done. And if you think about it, like most of your life, you're going to learn by watching other people do the thing that you're trying to do, right? Because that's how babies obviously learn. Babies watch adults, and That's how human beings learn. We learn by watching other people do the thing that we're trying to do. That's why we have a thing called veterans and non-veterans, because veterans is somebody who's been doing that thing that you're trying to do longer, right? So they've been through that process longer. So by watching them do that process over and over again, you will internalize the timing. Again, a lot of football comes down to timing, especially on offense. Even if Mendoza can make all the throws, even if he knows all the plays, the timing for those plays are critical for the success of those plays. Because remember, you're having guards, tackles pulling, you've got motions happening. If you don't get those timing correctly, it hurts everyone. And you know what? Quarterback is one position. Every other position, though, will depend on how well that quarterback knows his timing. Right now, Kirk Cousins knows the timing of Kubiak's offense better than Mendoza. That's all it is. We're not saying Mendoza isn't great. We're not saying Mendoza is not going to be great. We're saying right now, because Cousins is a 15-year veteran who has ran this offense many times before, he is better with the timing of this offense, which will help out the entire team. Because again, the entire team needs to be lifted up. Right? Kirk Cousins is the tide that's going to lift up everybody. He might not take us to glory, but he is going to lift the floor, because he's going to make everybody better, because he just has a better understanding of the playbook and the NFL speed required for that playbook. Does that make sense, Nation?
And that's the reason why there's a such thing as a mentor and a mentee. That's why there's a reason why you shadow a person. Now they call it cloning.
Yes. Oh my God. That's it. Look, if you went to the hospital because you're about to die and they say, who do you want treating you? The rookie doctor or the veteran? Obviously, the correct answer is the veteran. The rookie.
No, you want the medical student that was number one in the class, the one that won all the awards. You want the one that everybody likes. You want the one that got the national recognition, not the 15-year veteran who saved lives, a certain amount of lives every year. Because you talk about he's too old and his eyes are starting to get dim and his hands is getting shaky, although he knows the timing.
Guys. That might be a point, right? Look, we know who the future is. We know who the surgeon, who's the main hospital surgeon is for the next 20 years. But he just showed up, and guess what? If the guy who's been doing that surgery for 15 years is there, I think it would be wise to say, yeah, unless that guy is not able to, which does happen. But right now, Kirk Cousins is very capable of being the surgeon who's been doing the surgery for the past 15 years.
And he like, I don't even want to be the resident surgeon. I'm just coming through for a couple of years to stabilize y'all hospital because y'all been having people die up in here so often. You know what I mean? Like, people scared to come in there. It's like, you know what I'm saying? It's kind of like, man.
Just give us a competent surgeon, man. We're killing people on this table out here.
Right. It's like people used to say about Highland Hospital in Oakland. It was like, you sending me to Highland? But now it's Killer Kaiser. But I mean, I'm just saying, it just doesn't make sense. But that's one of the things I'm going to be looking for in training camp.
Yo, you cannot be flaming the entire California healthcare system like that.
I know. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. And so one of the things I am going to be looking for, to be fair and objective, is Mendoza, is Kirk Cousins going to be degenerate? Not if how well Mendoza plays, is how bad Kirk Cousins plays. If he plays bad, if he looks like he's degenerate, if he looks like his timing is off, if it looks like he out there and he can't process the plays, or his accuracy is like way off, then yeah, I'm gonna have to consider getting rid of him. And we just made a bad business decision when it came to signing him. And then yes, he would be a good number 2 backup at that point. You know what I'm saying? But the point that he's at right now, he's playing at the level of a starter. So that's what I'm going to be looking for in training camp, if he's going to hit a wall. Because we brought him in to start. That's what we brought him in for.
Well, we did bring him in to start, but I do think the rebuttal for that would be, well, we shouldn't have brought him in to start. Right? That would be the rebuttal. We should not have brought him in, because then there wouldn't be this conversation.
Well, then if that's the case, then we shouldn't have brought him in at all because we got the elite AOC who never gets an opportunity to start. Like, why did we bring Kirk Cousins in at all? If we had AOC, we could have started AOC and let Mendoza sit behind AOC if AOC was all that. Then, if we're going to use that logic,
yo, Gregory 44. Honestly, yeah. I mean, look, I've said this before, and I'll say it again. It's just people want to see the success start as soon as possible. And if you start Mendoza week 1, that at least makes it a very, very high, a lot of noise. And they want to see what kind of noise we're making as quickly as possible. And for those people, I think the answer is, yeah, you'll just wait. We're ready. When Mendoza's ready, you're gonna see him. So yeah, I'm fine with people wanting Mendoza to start week 1. I'm fine with that because if he does start week 1, that means that one, Cousins wasn't ready. Because I think the other point is this: for those who are Cousins fans, is the fear that if Mendoza starts, that actually means that Cousins is washed, that he's done. Because that is a question now with Cousins, right? If Mendoza starts, the moment Mendoza gets in that game, we are understanding, Cousins, that your career is done. Right?
Well,
because if Mendoza goes in week 6, would you, if you were Cardinals, for example, would you try Cousins again next year? If Mendoza's in the game by week 6, would you trade for him?
Why is he in the game by week 6? Because he got hurt or performance?
Exactly. And I think
if he's there because of performance, then that's different. If he gets injured and come back in 2 or 3 weeks, I'm sticking him back out there.
No, I'm saying if he's gone after week 6, no matter what the reason, if Cousins is done after week 6, Mendoza's starting, would you start Cousins again next year on another team if you were the coach of that team?
Yes.
You would.
On another team?
I would not. On
another team?
I would not. No.
I would let him compete for a starting position.
Yeah, for me,
I mean, you can't just give him the job because he's who he is. I mean, no different than coming here. We're not just giving him the job. He's the better person. He's the one that got a resume, an NFL resume, not a college resume. So I mean, it's not like we're just inheriting him the job, nepotism, as I heard somebody call it, which used it wrong, but he knew that. He just wanted to make that emotional connection. But like, we're not going to just give the job to Mendoza. We're not just giving it to anybody. We're giving it to the most capable person at the time. Right. And the most capable person is Cousins. Now, if Cousins come in here and he looks incapable of leading, then he's incapable of starting. And he even said himself, hey, if I go out there looking bad, I'm just going to retire because I'm not trying to get hurt like that. He understands what's at risk here. And if he feels like he can play somewhere else the next year and compete like Gardner Minshew has to do in Arizona, then yeah.
I would. Here's what I'm saying. If I can finally put it in a tight little knot, if for some reason Mendoza loses the job in week 6, it's going to tell me it's going to tell me Cousins is done. As a coach, that's what it tells me.
If what?
You're already 38. You're 38. And again, I've said this before. It's not like Cousins is a Super Bowl winning quarterback. He's not. For those guys, we give them a little bit extra time. Brett Favre can play in his 40. Aaron Rodgers can do that because those are
because they won a Super Bowl?
Yes, yeah.
No, I don't think that's the reason. I think that gives you. I think that gives you, like, you know how Serena Williams got to play in Wimbledon the other week on an invitation. I think it does give you that. But if you're a backup, I'm talking about a good backup, then you still gonna get action. Look at Rivers. Rivers ain't won no Super Bowl.
I would say that. To me, I would not. If I was a coach, I would not. And the reason why is
I'm not saying I would either. Right. But I'm saying that there's teams that would, though.
Right. But the teams that would are the Raiders. The team that have no one. Those are the teams that would do that. Those are the teams
not now. The Raiders wouldn't do that now. And not only that, anytime a player goes to the Raiders and they have a bad year, that's almost like a mulligan year almost, because I know that the franchise is so jacked up that if you play at a certain level, like Geno Smith, like he almost out the league because he came here. Now, had he went somewhere else and had a mediocre year, like he was coming off of a 4,000 yard season, I think. And if he would have came and played somewhere close, 38, 37, 50, somewhere in there, and wasn't looking as bad as he looked here, then he would be looked at different because of the level he was playing at. But he came here.
Yeah, but listen, after Geno Smith came here, who else was going to draft? Who else was going to pick him up except for the Jets? No other team would pick him up.
Leaving. No, come on. He's better than Sam Darnold coming out of. That's
not what I'm saying. That's not what I'm saying.
What you're saying is, hold on. Let me see if I'm not getting what you're saying. You're saying after he left Seattle, the only other type of team that would have signed him was the Raiders and the Jets. That's what you're saying. Exactly. And I'm saying a quarterback coming off of 4,000 yards. You telling me that they're the only two teams in the NFL that would kick the tires on that?
But because they're the only two teams that have kicked the tires on that. Other teams don't kick the tires on that. Sam Darnold is in his 20s.
What do you mean? Minnesota's trying to kick the tires on
Kyler Murray?
Kyler Murray, because they need to.
Because Kyler Murray is like 27 years old.
So is Kyler Murray better? So you would go with Kyler Murray before you would go with Geno Smith?
Yes, I would go with Kyler Murray over Geno Smith.
I wouldn't at all. Kyler Murray haven't proven nothing in this league.
But he still has age. At some point,
but he hasn't proven nothing. He's got more time to not prove it.
But at some point, your body just can't do it, and that's my point. If Kirk Cousins cannot finish this season, it tells the NFL that his body can't do it anymore.
But that's not age. That's not age reliant.
Look. That's not age reliant. For me, all I'm saying is, for me, it would be. For me as a coach in the NFL right now, this to me is Kirk Cousins' last year. Now, you're right. Somebody did bring
or Geno Smith. Who are we talking about?
Kirk Cousins last year. This is his last year to prove himself. Now, you're right. Somebody did bring in what's his name? Philip Rivers, right? But the Colts didn't bring in Philip Rivers because they really thought they were going to win a Super Bowl with a 43-year-old Philip Rivers.
No, we wasn't talking about a team that wanted to win a Super Bowl. We were talking about who would give him a starting position. He could start in Miami right now.
Who? Philip Rivers?
No, Kirk Cousins can start in Miami right now. Miami don't even have no quarterback.
Yeah,
he could start in Atlanta again.
Because
he
Miami
can start in Atlanta.
Okay, first, because Miami are the Raiders. Miami are the Raider team that would have to.
Kirk Cousins can start in Atlanta right now. He wanted to stay, but he didn't want to stay there because the way they did him.
He'll win 4 games though.
Wow, when he played like 7 games, he won 4 of them.
I know.
Or he played 5 games and won. He played like 7 games, 8 games, and won 5 of them. If he played a whole season, and the reason why he played, the only reason why he played 8 games wasn't because he was injured. It was because he was on the bench.
That's my point, though. I'm just going based on what I've seen. Last year, he played 8 games because he was on the bench. This year, it comes down to what do you do? And I'm saying if he's out of the game after week 6, that tells the NFL Kirk Cousins is washed.
Out of the game for what, though? Out of the game for what?
It doesn't matter what it is, because if it's injury, they're going to say it's age. If it's skill, they're going to say it's age and it's getting old. It wouldn't matter.
If it's injury, it's just injury. If it's injury, it's injury. It don't matter how old you are. It don't matter. Yeah, well, no, well, then you have to. Okay, so how old is Gardner Minshew?
Besides garbage?
No, how old is he though?
I know what you said. I think Gardner Minshew is like 30.
Just ballpark.
I think it's like 32. I think it's 32.
So let's just say, me too. I think he's about 32. Well, you can say the same thing about him. He blew his knee out right at 32, right? You could have said that about Kirk Cousins like 2 seasons ago.
Okay, but here's the explanation. With Gardner Minshew, I would not bring him in to be a starter because he's not good. Kirk Cousins is good, so I would bring him in to be a starter. But if Kirk Cousins 2 years in a row shows that he can't go more than 8 games, no matter what the reason is, I think his career is done.
He didn't play more than 8 games because they didn't put him in the game because they was playing games.
I know, but I don't care what the reason is as a coach. I just want competence.
No, you have to. You have to consider that. You can't say, well, I don't know if he can play. I don't know if he can play a season if he only got to play 8 games.
If all I can see is 8 games, I'm going to judge you based on 8 games. I'm going to say 8 games is not enough. So that's what I'm saying. This is Cousins last year. If he can't do more than 8 games, his career, look, he's going to end up like Joe Flacco, where a team is in a pinch, their quarterbacks are hurt, they're going to call you in for 2 games, 3 games. And I've said it before.
Okay.
Cousins is going to do that for the next 5 to 6 years.
Okay.
This is his last chance to prove that he can be trusted with the starting team to try and get
even
to
when
the
he was playing at a high level, they wasn't trusting him with a team like that. Well, they was trying to in Atlanta, but they played games. Like that's been the storybook. That's been the storybook of his whole.
He can start in Arizona if he wanted to, right? Macho Man just said he can start in Arizona. Do you think Cousins can start in Arizona?
Yeah,
if you wanted
of course. Of course he can.
Would you start him in Arizona if you were the coach?
Of course.
Okay, why though?
Because he's better than both them quarterbacks on the roster combined.
Okay,
the only thing y'all holding against him is his age, because you guys are saying, well, at his age, so what's going to happen is his play is going to deteriorate because of his age. But you don't know that until you start playing. You don't know that. You're
it's
just
not just his age, though. It's also the fact that his entire career, he's never gone more than winning one playoff. So he's never won more than a playoff game, I think. And he's 38 years old, and he's coming off of injury, and he played only 8 games last season. Okay. I'm sorry, and you want me to give him how much money to come turn my team around? I'm not.
Now we talking about contracts that ain't even. There is no contract. We don't know how much he's gonna sign for. But all I'm saying is this. I know that you don't sit there and say, well, we need a quarterback. Well, how many playoff games did he win? Especially if we don't have no quarterback. We ain't gonna be like, nah, let's pass on him because he ain't win no playoff games. Or we're gonna pass on him. How many
That's
quarterbacks?
Exactly what I would do.
How many quarterbacks right now are free agents that won playoff games? How many? Name them.
Free agents? I don't know. How many are there?
I'm talking about coming into this offseason. Coming into this offseason, how many quarterbacks that were free agents that won playoff games? How many?
I think it was just Kirk Cousins.
So y'all talking about so you talking about, well, I wouldn't get him because he didn't. There is nothing better. There's nothing better.
No. I'm saying this is his last chance. There's nothing else after this. What other chance would they give you?
The same chance they just gave Gardner Minshew to start in Arizona.
But
what do you mean?
Gardner Minshew is not starting in Arizona. He's competing against another backup.
We don't know that yet because they got to go through camp. But he has an opportunity to start. That's a true quarterback competition. Exactly. That's a true training camp. What I'm trying to tell you is, no matter what happens to him, whatever happens to Kirk Cousins, when he leaves the Raiders, if he leaves the Raiders this year and goes into the league next year, you can say whatever you want to about his game. He's going to have a chance going into training camp to start somewhere.
I think if he does, I'm just glad it's not with the Raiders because that team is going to be bad.
We shouldn't be worried about it. Yeah, but you guys are saying the same thing. But you say the same thing about Geno Smith.
I know.
These teams you're talking about aren't that much further than we are. It's not like we're in a different tier than them.
They're not winning quarterbacks. There's a ceiling. That's the point. There's a ceiling.
I guess. So Kirk Cousins is not a winning quarterback because he didn't because his playoff record.
Okay. Kirk
Cousins. Wait. No, hold on. Kirk Cousins isn't a winning quarterback.
No, Kirk Cousins is not a winning quarterback.
Okay.
He's not a winning quarterback.
All right.
So example is this. Kirk Cousins, this age, or Tom Brady when he was Kirk Cousins' age. Why did Buccaneers pay that much money for Tom Brady? Because Tom Brady won Super Bowls. I'm not saying no other team would ever pick up Cousins. I'm saying no other team would ever pick him up to start him. He hasn't won a Super Bowl, so you can't bank on that. So players can't go to you and say, you've been to the big game. You're going to lead us there because it's never been there. So you can't lead anyone there because it's never been there, right? I look. I want to be.
I guess.
I don't know what I'm betting on though. What am I betting on with Cousins?
What are you betting on with any other quarterback?
A Super Bowl, and he won't give you that.
How? So
Cousins has shown
going into this. So let's just take Kirk Cousins off the roster, since you wouldn't give him a chance to start. Let's just say even after Atlanta, looking at whatever. So who would you pick at quarterback to come in for the Raiders? If we didn't have the number 1 pick or anything, right? We had to go get a quarterback out of free agency.
Right.
Who would you have gotten? Who would have been the quarterback
this year?
Yeah, this year.
I would have been fine with anyone we didn't already have.
Whoa, give me a name.
Jacoby Brissett.
How many playoff games have he won?
Because Jacoby Brissett
he's not even a starter.
But he's going to get you the same amount of wins as
see, that's why the argument don't make sense. You just wouldn't pick a backup that don't even have a regular season record for real. He's pretty nice though. Don't get me wrong.
Because they're not the future of my team. You're just saying if I have to pick anybody, and if it wasn't Cousins, I don't care. Give me Jacoby Brissett.
How many playoff games? How many playoff games have you won?
I think he's 1-0, but that's my point. He's not going to get us there, and Cousins isn't going to get us there either, right?
So
we didn't bring in Cousins because we think he's going to get us to the playoffs.
Who's thinking that?
Right? I don't think he's that. Do you think he's going to get us to a playoff?
I'm not saying that. I never said that.
Exactly, that's my point.
But I don't understand how that even became an element because you said, look, he didn't win. He ain't won no playoff games, or he got 1 playoff win. Although that's more win than Derek Carr, exactly. But whatever. We're too good for Kirk Cousins now. But okay,
no. So I'm not saying we're too good. I'm saying I want to be too good for Cousins. I'm not saying we are. I'm saying that we're not too good for Cousins. But by next year, I want to be too good for Cousins.
How? How are we going to get there?
Because Cousins cannot get you any more than 9 games.
And Brissett
that's
can?
It. That's the ceiling.
And Brissett can?
Okay, even if Brissett only got you 6, that's my point is they're not the future. It's just to kind of keep the wheel going. Look, you like Cousins way more than
it's not about Cousins. It's not about Cousins. I'm listening to what you're saying. It ain't about what I'm thinking. It's about what you're saying. You're saying, hey, I wouldn't get Cousins because Cousins won't do this. He can't do that. He won't do this. And I said, okay, who would you go get? The same person you pick can't do neither one of them things except for this person haven't even done them on the level as this person. I'm like, well, why would you pick this person? Hold on. I'm like, why would you pick this person over this person? Although this person is more accomplished than the person you picked. And then you say, well, because he hasn't done A, B, and C. And I'm like, well, he ain't did A, B, and C either. And then you'd be like, well, I just like him better. Well, fine, say that.
Well, I'm saying if Cousins wasn't an option, I would have gone with Jacoby Brissett. If Cousins wasn't an option, I would have gone with anybody. It doesn't matter. If Cousins was an option, and he's the best of those options. That's why we got him. But that only gives you 9 games. That's at most.
Look,
that's what I'm saying. But if Cousins wasn't an option, I would have went with Jacoby Brissett.
Look, we didn't bring him in to take us to no Super Bowl, man. We never brought Cousins in to bring us to no Super Bowl.
Because it's a backup.
We brought him in. We didn't bring him in to be a backup. We brought him in to buy enough time to Mendoza get ready so we can start our franchise quarterback. Now,
yes, that's what we're all saying. That's like 9 games at most.
No, you're putting a number on it. I ain't putting no number on it.
I'm saying winning number. It's 9 games at most. Cousins will give us 9 wins at most. Right? That's really generous.
You don't know that. If he gives you 9, if a quarterback give you 9, he can give you 10 then. Just like if he give you 9, he can end up with 8.
But statistically speaking, Cousins averages about 9 wins a year. He's been doing that for the past 10 years.
How many games a year have Derek Carr averaged, bro?
Derek Carr.
I'm just asking. I'm just asking now.
The only thing I want for Derek Carr is for him to retire as a Raider, and that's
I'm just asking how many games a year? How many games a year does Derek Carr average then? If
probably 8 or 9, probably 8 or 9. Yeah, okay.
I wish we did. Okay. So 8 or 9 wins is bad.
It's not good enough. I want more, man. Mendoza is more. Mendoza is 10 to 12 wins a season.
How do you know that? We don't know. That we don't know.
Okay,
that we don't know.
You don't. We're just making an educated guess based on his playing style, based on what he's already accomplished. Right now, as a rookie, who would you have started? Kirk Cousins as a rookie or Mendoza as a rookie? Who was better? Obviously, Mendoza as a rookie. Because Mendoza came in with way more stats and way more attributes and way more proven leadership.
That doesn't mean nothing, though, because RG3 was better than Kirk Cousins, who had the longer career.
RG3 broke a leg.
Who made the bro?
RG3 broke a leg.
Bro, it doesn't matter.
It's
still his career. His career. Who had the better career? You can say RG3 broke his leg.
RG3 had the better career.
Okay.
He won Rookie of the Year. He won Rookie of the Year. Cousins hasn't won anything.
I bet you if you ask RG3 if he'd rather have his career or Kirk Cousins' career, if he was honest with
tell you he would rather have the money that Kirk Cousins has. But RG3 has accolades.
I said career, bro.
Doesn't.
Nobody care about no Rookie of the Year award, bro.
The guy who got the award does.
Bro, he didn't even play that long.
He still got the award. That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
Kirk Cousins has a ceiling.
All right.
Kirk Cousins has a ceiling. That's why.
I'm glad you said that. You know what? I'm glad you said. You know what? I'm glad you said that.
And the ceiling is 9 games.
I'm glad you said that. Since we talked about accolades, I wasn't tripping on no accolades, but here's an accolade for you. Here's an accolade for you.
Okay.
You know who's going to be the comeback player of the year this year?
Comeback player?
Comeback. You know what a comeback player of the year is?
It's not gonna be him.
You know who it's gonna be? Kirk Cousins.
No, I don't. No, can we trade him now? Then I don't want that. No, I don't. What? If the only way this season matters to me in terms of Kirk Cousins, if he somehow gets into the playoffs, that's it. Otherwise, I don't care. Kirk Cousins has his money. He has his career. If we traded him right now, I would still be happy. We can trade him for Jacoby Brissett, and I would still be happy. That's my point. This year is a throwaway. That's why Kirk Cousins is coming in. Now, after this year, how many teams do you think will be willing to have another throwaway season? Because those are the teams that will go after a Kirk Cousins, like the Raiders. There wouldn't be a quarterback battle. Yeah, because Arizona sucks. Of course, there wouldn't be a quarterback battle.
The Raiders suck too.
That's my point. That's why I don't want
you
Kirk
keep
Cousins.
saying that. You keep saying that.
No, Kirk Cousins means that your team sucks. That's what I'm saying. Kirk Cousins means your team sucks.
No, it doesn't.
Yes, it does.
The Raiders sucked before Kirk Cousins got here. Stop that.
But if you
don't try to put that on Kirk Cousins.
No, if you get Kirk Cousins,
you're saying by proxy, that's why we got a Kirk Cousins because we suck. And I'm like, okay, if that wasn't the case, who else will we? If we didn't suck, who would we go get? If we were a good team and we needed a quarterback coming into the draft this year, coming into this season, I'm talking about if you was any other team,
if we were
a middle tier team to a playoff team, you're telling who would you have gone by? What free agent quarterback would you have gone and got this year if you was a middle tier team up to playoff team?
What if you a middle team to a possible playoff team? What quarterback
who you gonna get?
Who would you get?
No, I want you to answer that. This is my
question. Okay.
My question.
Who would I get?
Kirk Cousins.
Who would I get? I would get nobody. I would draft someone in the second round if I didn't have a first round.
Yep, you just set your franchise back now. Because now you went from a middle tier team to now you're going, and then not only that, you're a middle tier team. So that means you would have to go get a quarterback like
No. Being a middle tier team means you can't draft a quarterback because you're always drafting in the middle.
So, like I was about to say, then you have to go get a quarterback like Ty Simpson. Because he was drafted in the middle.
I would take Ty Simpson over Kirk Cousins.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Let's keep going.
Kirk Cousins is 38 years old.
Let's keep going.
You think the man is Superman?
Let's keep going. I didn't say that. I didn't go that far. Y'all, that's an extreme. I didn't say that.
Okay,
But all I'm saying is if I need a bridge quarterback, a competent bridge quarterback, a quarterback that I can rely my franchise on, I'm going to go get Kirk Cousins. I'm not about to go get Ty Simpson.
Okay, let me ask you a question then. If your franchise is that bad, is that not the reason why you're having to get a Kirk
I don't
Cousins in the
care.
first place?
I'm not getting Ty Simpson.
So you're not going to get a future quarterback because you're going to keep counting a 38-year-old
Bro, if I had a
quarterback.
chance between Kirk Cousins and Ty Simpson, I'm getting Kirk Cousins, bro.
Why? Kirk Cousins will give you 8 games over and
Ty
over
Simpson,
and over
you don't
again.
even know if he gonna play in the NFL
But that's
that long.
why you train him up. You're basically just
Well,
saying,
you can take that risk.
So you're basically just
take
saying
that risk.
don't play any rookies at all?
I didn't say that. Why are you going so extreme? I didn't say that.
Because
I'm
you
saying
literally
I
just said
wouldn't
you
play him. I wouldn't play no middle tier. I wouldn't play no middle tier quarterback. If I'm a middle tier
so
team,
you would not play a middle tier.
if I'm an 8-win team right now, and I'm trying to make us a 10-win team, I'm not about to go backwards and go get a Ty Simpson.
So
I'm not going to do that.
So you wouldn't play a middle tier rookie quarterback, but you would play a middle tier veteran quarterback?
Bro, I wouldn't play no middle tier. Matter of fact,
Kirk Cousins is a middle tier veteran quarterback.
Let's say Ty Simpson is a middle tier quarterback, right?
Okay,
in
like
college.
Kirk Cousins.
In college.
Yeah. No, in college he wasn't. In college he was top 3 quarterback. Statistically, he was top 3 quarterback.
Bro, we're talking about skill level. Forget what his draft whatever is. We talking about skill level. If
he's skill level. Okay, go ahead.
So do you think Ty Simpson's elite quarterback?
What? No. Based on his play in Alabama, he's a middle tier NFL
So that's what I'm saying. I wouldn't go get no middle. That's why. Hold on, bro. This is why I won't go get a middle tier college quarterback. Okay. If I'm an 8-win team, I'm not about to go draft no middle tier college quarterback when I have a middle tier veteran quarterback that I know that I can go in there and put him in there and
win 10 games.
Hold on. And I think that we have more of a chance of winning 10 games with that guy than a middle tier college guy.
Yeah, the middle tier college guy has a future with your team.
Bro, we talking about 10 wins this year, bro. No, we're talking about
dynasty.
Bro, I just said you're changing it. I said if I'm trying to take my 8-win team and take them to 10 wins. Now, if I want to take, bro, no, I wouldn't. Not if you're a middle tier team. You're not looking for no franchise quarterback. If you're a middle tier team, you already have a quarterback.
What kind of coaches? What kind of coaches draft?
Hold on.
What kind of? Okay, go ahead.
But if I have a middle tier team. And I'm like, well,
8 wins.
If I have a middle tier team with 8 wins, and I'm like, okay, we need to go find us a franchise quarterback in college. Just know we're no longer an 8-win team no more. Just know that.
Yeah, you're not about
to win 10 games in the next 2 years, at least. That's if the quarterback is good.
Yes, you can do that. What are you talking about? Drake May did that. Caleb Williams did that. Patrick Mahomes did that.
Caleb Williams
was great last year. What are you talking about? In 2 years, he became a Pro Bowl quarterback.
Is that normal?
Yes, that's normal. Drake May did that.
That is not normal, man. A quarterback don't come in 2 years later and be a 10-win quarterback. That's not normal.
Drake May, Jalen Hurts.
That's not normal.
Patrick Mahomes, Trevor Lawrence. It is normal if you draft them in the first round.
And not only that, those quarterbacks you talking about,
Our first round drafted quarterbacks.
When did Caleb Williams get drafted?
Caleb Williams drafted 2 years ago.
What number did he get drafted?
Number 1.
Okay, so if you're a middle tier team with 8 wins, how many 8-win teams get the number 1 quarterback in the draft? How many? How many number 8?
What? No, you wouldn't get that.
Exactly. So when you say, well, this person did it. No, hold on. Don't talk. Because you used him as an example, and I'm saying
I didn't realize you like Cousins as much. If I'm being honest,
it's not about liking Cousins. Stop saying that. Okay. If you are an 8-win team, you're not going to be able to get a number 1 pick quarterback. If you are an 8-win team and get a number 1 pick quarterback, yes, you might win 10 games. You might.
If I was an 8-win team, I would trade up to get a quarterback. I wouldn't get a Cousins because Cousins gets you from 8 to 10. That's nothing in the NFL. Why would you keep wasting all of your time and resource on a middling quarterback? No team does. The only reason we have Kirk Cousins is because we have Mendoza. That is the only reason. Otherwise, we would not have no reason to get Kirk Cousins. Kirk Cousins is not.
So who we got?
It could be anybody. It could be anybody.
You saying anybody? Anybody like who? Say a name.
Any Jacoby Brissett would have worked equally as good as Kirk Cousins. Just look at the past 2 years. What are we talking about? Are we acting like Kirk Cousins has won anything? It's like he's capable.
So why we didn't go get him?
He's a 30-year-old human being.
So why? Jacoby Brissett ain't even a constant starter in this league. He was a career backup.
The only reason we got Cousins because he already ran the Kubiak offense. It's not because he's
That's
good.
not the only reason.
He already ran the offense.
That's not the only. You could go get several quarterbacks that ran the offense.
Let me put it this way: when the Raiders season start, I will pay zero attention to Cousins. I do not care at all what Cousins is doing on the field. I don't care at all. None. Why?
Because I bet you'll be forced to. You'll be forced to.
Because there's nothing there. We've already
seen
it.
So we might as well start Mendoza now then. So we might as well start Mendoza now then. If that's the case, based on what you're saying.
You just made Doug Peterson's argument because I'm not saying
no, I didn't make his argument.
Because he's capable. I'm saying we're starting Cousins before Mendoza knows the offense. Not because I think Cousins is going to give us a Super Bowl. Not a Super Bowl.
No, y'all keep saying Super Bowl. I never said Super Bowl.
Not even playoff. I think
said
Cousins
playoffs.
will give us no more.
Why are you saying that? I never said playoffs. I never said that.
Cousins will give us no more than 8 games. Here's the thing.
I never said playoffs. Okay, 8 games.
Here's the question: which would Raider Nation take? 6 wins from Mendoza or 8 wins from Kirk Cousins? That's the real question.
Okay.
Which
That's
would
a
you
good question.
6 wins from Mendoza.
But how do you know he's going to win 6 games?
How do you know?
That's not even because you just said I'm about to answer because you just sat here and said you told me that he was an 8-9 win guy based on his
record shows. No, that's his record. I'm not making that up.
Bro. So. Right, you can base that on his record, but you can't base 6. You can't base 6 wins of Mendoza because he doesn't have a record.
Because he won the fucking Eisman Trophy and the national championship.
What does that mean? I mean, he gonna win 6 games in the NFL.
That means he played with the best of the best in college. Most of them are now in the NFL starting.
Bro,
what are we talking about?
So that means he wins. That means he wins 6 games.
Yes, that means that he can win you 6 games. That's why you drafted him first of all. You really think we drafted Mendoza because we didn't think he could win us at least 6 games?
Bro, how can he win the 6 games when the number 1 pick in the draft for the last 10 years, the record is 25, 82, and 2. So how did that tell you that he's going to win 6 games when the number 1 pick? Hold on. When the number 1 pick. The number 1 pick that was a quarterback in the last 10 years is 25, 82, and 2. How do you equate that to Mendoza winning 6 games?
Yeah, okay. I'm not making any more arguments for Cousins. I honestly didn't realize.
It's not about Kirk Cousins, bro. Stop saying that. It's not about Kirk Cousins.
Okay, fine. I think we should start Mendoza.
No. Forget Kirk Cousins. Forget Kirk Cousins.
And I would like to start Mendoza week 1.
Forget Kirk Cousins. How do you say? This guy gonna come in and win 6 games when in the last 10 years, that would be 1/4 of the wins of the quarterbacks in the last 10 years. But somehow you know that this guy gonna come in and win that many games. How do you know that?
This is how I know that. Because the Raiders spent a lot of money to make the team better. The offensive line is better. We've got a top-tier running back. We got a top-tier tight end. We've got another tight end on the side who can block. We have Trey Tucker, Kwity Paye, Nakobe Dean, Quay Walker. That's how I know. We put a team together.
So that means 6 wins.
Yes, as a rookie, Mendoza can give you 6 wins with this team. Kirk Cousins will give you 8. So the question is 6 versus 8. If that's the question, I can swing either way. But if you're like, really answer, that would say, you know what? Yeah, I'll take a 6-win Mendoza over an 8-win Kirk Cousins. Why? Because an 8-win Kirk Cousins, there's no future there. An 8-win Kirk Cousins at the age of 38.
So you go from a 3-win team to an 18.
Because age in the NFL does mean something. Older quarterbacks do not
unless you win a Super Bowl, right?
Unless you win a Super Bowl.
Unless you're Tom
Brady, and that's why we call him the GOAT. No,
unless you
Kirk
win a Super
Cousins
Bowl.
cannot do that, right? Because Kirk Cousins can't even win a Super Bowl, let alone a playoff.
Most quarterbacks don't win a Super Bowl. What are you talking about?
Yeah, but you give passes to quarterbacks based on what they win. Remember, what I've said was this is Kirk Cousins last year. Why? Because after this year, who is going to sign him unless you are a bad team that just needs a bridge quarterback? And a bridge quarterback means you don't expect to win
That's
a whole
what all
lot.
bad teams do. Sign a quarterback. Because that's why they're bad. Because they don't have a quarterback. What do you mean?
But bad quarterbacks sign Kirk Cousins because he is a very limited quarterback.
Yeah, all right.
I mean,
now he's very limited.
I feel like the entire nation has been speaking like
now he's very limited.
I think I got this. I think I'm getting that there are some Raider fans who really like Kirk Cousins. I'm just not.
No, it's not about Kirk Cousins because I said the same thing about Geno Smith.
Quarterback. I think
I said the same thing about Geno Smith. I was like Geno Smith. As turmoil as his career has been, as topsy-turvy as his career has been, he's trending up because the last couple of seasons he was able to increase his efficiency. His numbers went up. His interceptions went down. And I was like, okay, coming into this year, he's trending up. So I was like, okay, cool.
Okay, even if he was trending up, what does it matter? He's 38 years old. I don't care if he's trending up. How much up can he trend?
Bro,
that's my question.
Bro,
how much up?
Bro, I said Geno Smith, bro. I'm not talking about Kirk Cousins.
But what Cousins? What's the upside for Cousins?
I'm not talking about Cousins, bro. See, a lot of times y'all be thinking y'all think I'm so in love with Cousins, and I'm telling you, I'm in love with the quarterback play. It's not about a player. It's about bro, you can say that.
Doesn't have enough anymore.
You can say that, right? You can say that, right? And you can feel that way, right? And you can think that way, right? That's fine, right? But the proof is going to be in the pudding and what happens.
It's going to be in the pudding. I'm looking at the past pudding. I'm saying the past pudding hasn't been good.
You can't say you looking at the past because it always rolled back to, well, he's 38. Well, he's a has-been now because he got let go of Seattle. I'm telling you why I'm talking about the quarterback play. It's not about who the person is. It's not about I like Kirk Cousins like that, or it's not because I like Geno Smith like that. That's just an easy way to try to make my argument not credible.
So here's my argument. I think Mendoza should start week 1. He's not going to. We know that, but I think he should. If it's based on skill, Mendoza is much, much better than Kirk Cousins.
You don't know that.
Yes, I do. He won a national championship.
The boy ain't okay. So I guess putting on pads and all that stuff don't matter there, right?
Yes, he won a national championship in the next level below the NFL. Literally, it's right below the NFL. So he played with the best of the best in the entire world.
And that doesn't mean
and he beat them all. He beat all of them.
Okay.
He beat them in scores. He beat them in the Heisman. He beat them. I mean, I think you're saying that Mendoza, that the hype on Mendoza is too high.
No, I'm not saying that. Okay. No, just if you wonder if I'm thinking that, ask me, am I thinking that? Because that's not what I'm thinking.
Yeah, it's the same question as a veteran wide receiver. It's like
I'm not thinking that.
Okay.
I'm not thinking that. I don't know where Mendoza fall on the tree, really.
You just think Cousins is going to fall much higher than Mendoza.
No, I'm not saying this. I'm not gauging. Bro, look, this is me talking about me now. We're not talking about me as a GM or as a player. We're talking about me now.
I'm not looking at O-line. Go ahead.
I'm not looking at our record, period. I'm not looking at this quarterback and win us 8 games. This is going to win 6 because what I am looking for is how is our culture changing at that position? Because we've been don't know what we're doing since Derek Carr left that we needed to get some level of stability. Now, how do you get stability? Not from a rookie.
I'm not bringing in Cousins.
You don't get stability. Hold on. Go ahead.
Okay, so you're saying we got Cousins for stability? That's not why I think we.
No, I wasn't finished saying what I'm saying. I'm trying to draw a line from A to Z, but I can only get to like B or C. So then you guys draw the rest of the lines for me, and all I'm saying is this: yes, we do need to bring stability in the quarterback room. You could get it by getting a franchise quarterback that's capable of playing week 1. But in this offense, in this new regime, no quarterback will probably be ready for this situation.
Probably.
I don't even think Joe.
But how are you judging that though? How you determine that?
Because you don't know what you have at O-line. You have a new offensive coordinator. You have a new defensive coordinator. You have a whole new team. So you know that the team has no continuity. You don't know how they're going to respond. You don't know.
But how does Cousins fix that? He doesn't have any of that either.
I didn't say he was here to fix it. That's why if y'all listen to what I'm saying.
So what is Cousins here to do?
Oh my God, he's a bridge quarterback. He's here to stabilize the position until the team gets ready for the quarterback.
Okay.
Like, what's confusing about that? I'm not saying he's supposed to come in and take us to the Super Bowl. I'm not even saying he's supposed to take us to the playoffs. All I'm saying is he's supposed to stabilize that position. And if you think Mendoza can do that, then put him in week 1. Go ahead.
No. I think stabilizing the position isn't a week 1 thing. It's a 10-year process. Cousins isn't going to stabilize the quarterback position because he's only here for 1 year. Yeah, Cousins is not here to stabilize. You can't stabilize something for 1 year and then leave. That's not stabilization. Cousins is not here to stabilize anything. He's literally here as a bridge.
Bro, you have to stop the bleeding at some point. You don't sit there and be like, well, it's going to stop bleeding over a 10-year period. It's going to stop bleeding over 10 years.
Right. But the bleeding stops when you bring in a new team. What's the new team going to do? We don't really know. Cousins hasn't stopped the bleeding because we don't know what he can do.
He was going to stop the bleeding. I'm not saying I'm not even saying that he's supposed to fully. I'm not even saying he's supposed to fully stabilize the position.
Yeah, exactly.
What I'm saying is,
the Bird's Nest said he's going to teach the young players how to profession. That's literally what he's doing.
No, what you know what?
I'm not going to be watching.
Y'all seem to know what I'm saying before I say it, and I'm not saying none of that. All I'm saying is this: if you, as a coach, don't know what you're going to get from your quarterback, but you have a chance to go with somebody that you kind of have an idea what they're going to do, that brings stability to your team. Like, what's confusing about that?
I'm not going to be watching Kirk Cousins play football.
Yeah, because you don't. So maybe when y'all talk about how much I like Kirk Cousins, no, what it is, y'all just don't like Kirk Cousins. It ain't got nothing to do with how much I like him.
I just don't care about him. I don't know him.
Exactly.
That's your emotion. For my team. He's a Raider. He's a Raider only this year, right?
So it doesn't matter that he's playing on this team this year.
Yeah, this year, fine. You play 4 games, 5 games, 8 games, good, and you're gone next year. I don't care after next year.
You don't know that. You don't know that.
I know that Kirk Cousins will not be play with the Raiders past 1 year.
Okay.
Why? Because it's the same thing other teams have done. Like literally, it's the same thing that other teams have done. Bridge quarterbacks like Kirk Cousins don't play more than 1 year. When there's other teams
don't bring in a veteran quarterback that's going to start over your number 1 draft pick either. Other teams don't do that either. Name another team. Name another team that's done that.
The Chiefs had Alex Smith, and that worked out.
He was already there.
Yes, but they drafted him knowing that he was not. Patrick Mahomes was not going to start.
No, but now you're changing what I asked. Now you're changing what I asked. What I asked was how many other teams drafted a number 1 pick that was a quarterback, but also went and got a veteran quarterback to play ahead of him.
The Falcons. You know how that turned out.
Who? Who they go get?
Who was that quarterback? Oh, was it not your same boy Kirk Cousins? And then they drafted Penix. Like, what are we talking about?
Yeah, and you saw how that ended.
Yeah, and Kirk Cousins was
the person that they drafted is not even playing no more there. Matter of fact, hold on. The GM and the coach are gone. And Penix is fighting for his job against Tua.
Yes, because
so that just tells you that was a bad idea to begin with.
Kirk Cousins.
So now it's Kirk Cousins'
fault. Why are you bringing in Kirk Cousins and drafting somebody else? Look, the difference is this. Clint Kubiak has made it clear from the beginning Kirk Cousins is not the future of the team. He's not the future. He's just here as a bridge, and just only a bridge, nothing more than a bridge. When the Falcons brought him in, they brought him in as somebody who was supposed to lead the franchise and then essentially backstabbed them by taking the other franchise quarterback. But when it comes to the Raiders, Kirk Cousins is nothing but a bridge. We know that. No one's ever argued against that. I agree with needing QB play. I don't understand what you're saying. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't understand what you're saying about Cousins. I get what you're saying about QB, but why Cousins is the one that we're talking about is like, would I
because
take
he's the quarterback on the roster. That's why. Okay. Like, who else am I supposed to talk about? He's a quarterback that's on the roster.
Genty.
And then when I ask y'all, when I say, okay, let's take Kirk Cousins out of this, who else would you get? Then y'all say anybody. Then you're gonna say a quarterback that don't even start in the NFL. This is gonna be his first year starting.
I know. I've seen enough of Kirk Cousins to know that I don't care what he does.
Y'all don't even watch Kirk Cousins like that. Y'all just saying that, bro.
Of course we don't, because we don't watch the Falcons
exactly.
or whatever other team he was.
Exactly. So stop saying you know. So stop saying you know what he brings to the table. And the reason why y'all don't know what I'm saying is because y'all keep trying to interject something that I'm not saying.
We're saying we don't care what he brings to the table.
Right. Well, that's your problem.
Doesn't mean anything to us.
How does he not mean nothing to you and he's going to be the starting quarterback?
Because he's a quarterback for 1 year.
So put in Mendoza now then. So put Mendoza in now then.
Put in Mendoza now. It will still be the same thing. Except
no, it's not going to be the same thing. You just sat there and said it wouldn't be the same thing.
More Raider Nation would be happy if Mendoza was starting. I'm trying to.
Well, I'm going to listen to Clint Kubiak because he seems a lot smarter than the Raider fans.
Well, yeah, of course he is, because he's got options. But you're bringing up an hypothetical where he doesn't have an option. He's got plenty of
options. I never said that. I never said he had no options.
Okay, then I'm
saying this is the best option. That's what I said. There's a difference.
Okay, but what does the best option give us, in your opinion?
Oh, bro.
What does the best option give us?
It gets us closer to winning 10 games or to a playoff. It's closer. I didn't say it get us there. It gives a better opportunity to get there than it would to put in a rookie quarterback.
Right? In theory, because you don't really know.
No, it's not in theory, bro.
But he hasn't played.
Okay, well, maybe we'll go undefeated this year. Maybe. What? Maybe we'll go undefeated because we don't know. Because we don't know.
For the Raiders, and Mendoza hasn't played for the Raiders, so we don't actually know who's better of those two quarterbacks for the Raiders.
Yeah, you're right. Just like we don't know who's better, Genty or Washington, huh? We don't know who's better than Linderbaum or Meredith.
Genty is better because Genty.
No, how do we know that? How do we know that?
Because we saw what he did last year.
Oh my God.
Cousins wasn't on the team last year, so we can't compare him to Mendoza.
Cousins was on the team last year.
Okay, fine.
What do you mean? Cousins was on the team last year
in all of football. Cousins or Mendoza? Because the answer is definitely Mendoza. So if it's going based on who was better, well, Mendoza should be starting because Mendoza proved that he was a much better quarterback last year than Cousins was.
Yeah, he's a better NFL quarterback than Kirk Cousins.
Yes, I believe. Yes, right now I do believe that Mendoza is a better NFL quarterback than Cousins. However,
but you can sit there and say he's gonna get us 6 wins, but then Cousins is gonna get us 8 wins. But somehow your logic jumps that and says he's better than him at it, though.
Right. All of that.
Six is more than 8 now. Okay.
All of that was hypothetical. The reasons why Mendoza would get you less wins is because, he has to deal with some of the jitters of being in the NFL, has to deal with some of those other things. But I think if we could start both quarterbacks on the same Raider team in a parallel universe, I believe that Mendoza would have performed better than Cousins would.
Well, now, you ain't gotta live in no parallel universe. Just stick him out there, and we'll see how right you are. And all I'm saying is, based on history, 25, 82, and 2. Based on history, forget how we feel about it. Forget how much I love Mendoza or Kirk Cousins. Like I love all our quarterbacks the same, except for AOC, and I disrespect him. No. Like, I'm talking about love to start. I would go with either one of the quarterbacks, but I just think one gives us a better chance to get to 10 wins than the other. That's it.
I think Mendoza gives us a better chance to get to 10 wins.
That's fine. That's fine.
Okay.
I'm trying to figure out why do I gotta love somebody just because I think this quarterback gives us a better chance? Why do I gotta be the one that's in love with this guy? Why do I gotta have Raider goggles on just because I think this guy has a better opportunity than this guy? Why? I don't tell you guys. You guys just Mendoza lovers.
Wait. Who are these guys that Black is talking about? I mean, are y'all just like tweeting at this man? They be in the chat.
They be in the chat.
Because, dude, this is the most I've ever talked about Cousins anytime. Ever.
It is.
We've been talking about Cousins for an hour. I'm like, I was done with Cousins like 10 years ago.
Yeah, it is. And I'm just saying because when you said that, people think that, and I'm like, no, it's not. It don't have nothing to do with Cousins himself. I'm just looking at the quarterback that he is. Just like I looked at Geno Smith as the quarterback that he is, and then once I saw that Chip Kelly was our play caller, I told everybody all bets are off now. All bets are off because Chip Kelly don't even like black quarterbacks. He don't even like black people like that.
I think Dennis Dixon would have told you the same thing. In fact.
So I already knew it was a sabotage job that was going to go on in that situation. Well, so I'm not going to sit there and say, well, Geno Smith was garbage because I knew he was being sabotaged. I'm going to be like, well, it is what it is. Take it for what it's worth.
Yo,
I'm not going to sit there and start.
Raider coverage. What up, my man? Sorry, someone just came in the chat.
No, it's good. What's up with you, man? Hit the like button on the way in. Chewy's Raider coverage. Was good with it. And I'm saying it's not about Kirk Cousins.
Wait, who's a Raider? Who was talking about as a Raider? Gregory said, what you're doing is like blasphemy. Oh, I would blaspheme anything.
Who?
I can blaspheme. Good Raider. He's a Raider, bro. Who's a Raider?
You talking about Kirk Cousins. What y'all doing is blasphemous.
Sure,
I agree.
Okay. Fine, I blaspheme him. Sure.
I agree.
I don't think he's a good quarterback.
You don't have to think he is a good quarterback. That could be your opinion. Just like I could be like, I don't think AOC is a good quarterback.
Are you saying that I can't say that he's not a Raider? Because I would blaspheme Derek Carr all day. Like if I got to do that, I blaspheme anyone. I ain't got that kind of respect. All I'm saying, look, if Kirk Cousins gets us 10 wins, great. But I'm not saying
great.
I'm not saying he'll get us that because it's better than Mendoza. That's what I'm saying. He's not a better quarterback than Mendoza. Under any circumstance.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Based on everything that we're going to choose, here's a question. How many teams in the NFL? 32. How many coaches do you think would start Kirk Cousins over Mendoza in the NFL? Because I do not think very many.
It was on the same roster?
Same roster. I don't think very many would.
Yeah, but that's you speculating.
How many do you think?
That's speculation, though. What you just did, you speculating that.
Yeah. So I speculate that based on what we've heard about Kirk Cousins, based on what we've heard about the NFL, that most teams would not start Kirk Cousins over Mendoza.
But you want to know how I know that ain't even true? Even if I have to speculate how I know that's not true,
right?
Because most coaches are gonna go with a veteran before they go with a rookie, man.
If the veteran is good, I'm saying Kirk Cousins is not good.
Why
He's
do you
veteran,
think?
Not a good one.
So do you think Patrick Mahomes coming into the league was better than Alex Smith coming into the league? Do you think Mahomes is better than him, or do you think Mahomes got better than?
When Mahomes was given the chance, he proved that he was much better than.
That's not my question. My question is coming into the league.
Yep.
Do you think Patrick Mahomes was better than Alex Smith?
Yes, he was, because Alex Smith couldn't get it done, and Patrick Mahomes did in the second year.
Why are we, bro? I'm asking a very vanilla question. I'm not putting sprinkles and cherries on it. I'm just asking a very vanilla question. The vanilla question is, do you think Patrick Mahomes was better than Alex Smith coming into the league?
He was.
The answer is yes.
Yes, he was.
So guess who ended up starting, though?
Okay, Alex Smith.
Because why?
Because the coach decided that they weren't ready to put Patrick Mahomes in the game yet.
Because he had a veteran, and he put the veteran ahead of him.
Oh, so you just think veterans just start? Oh, you just like Pete Carroll.
Bro,
like,
I'm not saying that's the only. I'm not saying that's the only reason. Let's not do this, bro.
I'm trying to pin you down.
Let's not do this, bro.
You're
let's not do
man.
this.
I'm trying to pin you down.
But you're not gonna pin me down because if a coach has a veteran capable, competent, he doesn't have to be won a Super Bowl. He ain't gotta have a awesome playoff record. But if he has a veteran that he knows the system to some level, some high level, he's going to go with that guy before he goes with the rookie, no matter how good he is.
I think coaches will go based on what they see at camp.
Nah.
Really?
No.
Okay. If I was
this is why the reason why this is why people get deceived about why Minshew started over AOC, why Geno Smith started over AOC.
Because Antonio Pierce was a terrible coach. He knew nothing about football. I don't like that, man. I don't like that, man. Look, are you saying that will coaches generally start veterans? Well, yeah, but not first-round pick rookies. First-round pick rookies will generally start over middling veterans.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's why. And why do you think that he's not doing it now? Because it can either be one or two things. It can either be because Mendoza's not good enough, or it's because Kirk Cousins is better than him. Those can be the only two reasons.
I think it's because Mendoza won the Heisman and the national championship, and because of that, he's so busy doing so many other shit. He can't even focus on football till training camp starts. That's why.
That's the reason?
Yeah.
The reason why he ain't starting is because the schedule was too busy.
You would not convince that Kirk Cousins is good. No.
Forget Kirk Cousins. No, forget Kirk Cousins. What you're telling me is the reason why Mendoza isn't starting because the schedule was too busy in the offseason.
No, the real reason why is because Mendoza is quote unquote an unknown, like somebody just said in chat in the NFL. That's the real reason why. But that being an unknown doesn't mean he's not better than Kirk Cousins. It just means that he's unknown until we know. So are you saying, well, why does the coach not know? Because the coach hasn't even seen him yet. The coach doesn't even know this.
That applies to every rookie that come in. You know that, right?
It doesn't.
You do know that, right? That applies to every rookie. You don't know until you know, right? That applies to every rookie.
Yeah, guess what? Quarterbacks, you don't know till you know. Are you saying that he knows Kirk Cousins? Sure, he knows Kirk Cousins. He doesn't know Kirk Cousins with Ashton Jeanty or the O-line. Are you telling me that because he knows Kirk Cousins, he just thinks?
Well, we don't know Kirk Cousins is playing in this building. Like we don't know how he's going to play in that building. We don't know how Kirk Cousins is going to play wearing silver and black. We don't know how Kirk Cousins is going to play with this offensive coordinator. We don't know how Kirk Cousins is going to play with this wide receiver coach. We don't know. We don't know. No, we don't know if we're going to even be alive when the season starts. Like, if we're going to do all that.
But do you know how Cousins is going to play with Kubiak? Because Kubiak has never been a head coach.
He can make an educated guess.
Which is what I've been trying to do, and you've been shutting it all down.
I ain't been shutting it down. I've just been asking you the logic behind it.
The only thing you're saying is Kirk Cousins is continuity. That's the only thing you're saying, because Kirk Cousins played with the coach when he was an assistant coach. That means that Kirk Cousins will for sure be better than Mendoza. No.
I'm just using your own. I'm not even using my argument. I'm using your argument.
Okay,
you told me that Kirk Cousins can get us 8 wins. How did you come to that? How did you come to that?
Based on what he's done in the past few years. He's only played no more than 9 games in the past few years, right?
No, don't say few years.
Few years.
More than
last
2.
year, what did he get?
Few is more than 2, right?
Okay, last year he played 8 games.
Right.
The year before that, how many games?
Because he got injured. Okay.
Okay, and then the
So
year
that's
before
2.
that,
That's
many
2.
games?
How many?
So the year before that,
because you the one said few. So how many? You tell me how many he played.
So the year before that, did he play the full season? Because I don't watch Kirk Cousins. I'm a Raider
fan.
fan.
Well, why would you say so? If you don't know, then why would you say that? Then
because
you
I know
said
last
few.
year.
You should have said a couple. Then.
Yes. I know last year and under the year before that, and then I added an extra and say if he's been bad for the past 2 years,
it's called
I'm going to
embellishment.
assume he was bad before that, and
Yeah,
plus
you're gonna
he's 3 years
assume.
older. He's 3 years older, and I can assume because I'm 1 year older that when you get 3 years older,
but you're not a high level athlete.
Yet,
and
I
I'm
go
not
to gym
either.
every day. I go to gym
and I'm not
day.
either.
I go to gym every day. I know my body doesn't work the same way it used to when I was 10 years ago. I know that for a fact because I don't lift as much. I don't run as fast. And when I bend down now, my back hurts a little bit more. What, you think Kirk Cousins doesn't feel all of that? Playing football for the past 14 years, getting hit over and over and over again for 13 years? What? No, Kirk Cousins is not Superman, right?
No one's saying that. Where did all these extremes come from? I didn't say you don't have to be Superman to play quarterback in the NFL. You know that, right?
But you know he's been getting hit for the past 13 years, including breaking multiple bones. And you still think he can do all of that at the age of 38?
Well, I know he can do it at the age of 37.
At what age is his body gonna fall?
I know he can do it at the age of 37. So looking at the level, hold on. The level I seen him do it at the age of 37 gives me reason to believe that he can do it at the age of 38, from 37 to 38, not from 37 to 40, from 37 to 38. It looks like he can do it. Like I started all this off, but hold on. Hold on, though.
I need to talk to Chad real quick because Chad is like,
hold on. Let me finish this.
No. Chill. Chad is assuming that you are more impressive than I am. All of this because you're saying that you're noticing things that I'm not noticing. Guys, I have never talked about Kirk Cousins this much. I don't want to talk about Kirk Cousins. I don't even know why. That's why I'm not reading. So I'm like, we're talking about Kirk Cousins? This is literally the most I've ever talked about Kirk Cousins. Okay. Well, they're saying, well, they like your opinion. I'm like, so Weber, so if you like his opinion, which one? Because I don't know nothing about Kirk Cousins.
This is my thing. So this is my thing. If I'm a quarterback and I'm looking at quarterbacks, right? But you don't look at quarterbacks like that, though, right?
I do. Kirk Cousins is not a good quarterback.
You just told me,
about?
Bro. You just sat here and told me that you don't even watch him play, bro.
I don't watch him.
And then he's on your team. Then he's on your team, and you don't even care about he on your team. And
because
if I'm saying, if I say to you, yeah, I don't necessarily might have to like him, but I can watch him as a quarterback and I can see what he brings to the table. That doesn't mean I love the guy. That just means I understand how he plays. And I'm saying, okay, cool. If I'm taking that guy and I'm comparing him to this guy, because I was the one that was telling a lot of Raider Nation about Mendoza, because at least half of Raider Nation didn't like Mendoza. Don't say Raider Nation.
Don't say Raider Nation. Say your fans. Don't say Raider
Nation. No, it ain't my fans, bro. It's not my fans. It's not my fans. It's not my fans, bro, because I got this from listening to the media, watching people talk about them that don't even know me. So it ain't got nothing to do with me. So you telling me you can't tell the pulse of you don't know the pulse of Raider Nation? You don't know the pulse? Why are we talking
about Kirk Cousins like this? I don't get it.
Bro, I said Mendoza. Why do you keep saying Kirk Cousins, bro? I keep saying Mendoza, and you keep wanting to say Mendoza. Kirk Cousins.
Kirk Cousins for 2 hours.
Bro, I've been trying to pivot off this, but I kept telling you, y'all keep trying to figure out what do I mean because y'all won't listen to what I'm saying.
Who is y'all?
You. Okay, you fine. Keep saying because you keep saying because you keep saying no because you keep
mean in one sentence.
I'm telling you exactly what I mean. This is it in one sentence. I think Kirk Cousins gives us a better opportunity to win 10 games than a rookie quarterback.
Why?
One sentence.
Why? Is it
no, I'm not giving you no why. Because this is how we ended up talking about it for an hour.
I do not think that. So give your reasons why you think that. No, it's not fine. It's a debate. It can't be fun in a debate. Give your reasons.
You just said, here bro, hold on. You just said we talked about this guy for an hour. You don't want to talk no more. And you said, tell me in one sentence. Hold on.
Here's why. Because your boys are in here in chat, like praising you. I'm just like, I don't know what you're
I'm not even looking at the chat, bro. I'm not even looking at the chat.
They think you are. They're like, oh, he's looking at
I'm not looking at I haven't looked at the chat the last 30 minutes, bro.
I'm legitimately confused because I don't know what so you're saying that Kirk Cousins gives us the best chance to win 10 games? That's your argument, right?
It's not an argument. That's my statement. It's not an argument because you just hold on, man.
Based on the last 3 years, Kirk Cousins cannot win 10 games. He hasn't done it in 3 years.
Okay.
What do you mean? Okay,
you're saying that.
Yes. What do you mean? Okay, he hasn't won 10 games in the last 3 years. So why is he going to win 10 games?
I don't care if he hasn't won 10 games in the last 15 years. He give us the best chance to win 10 games in Mendoza.
Why? How is it going if he hasn't done it in the last 3 years? And he's 3 years older. How is he going to do it?
Because I've seen him do it before.
But if he hasn't done it in the last 3 years and he's 3 years older, how is he going to do it? What is he going to do?
Sometimes. So you want me to answer the question?
Yes, please.
Because sometimes you can go to a circumstance and it work out that way.
So you're saying, Kirk Cousins is now in a situation where he's more likely to win 10 games, even though he hasn't won 10 games.
That's not what I said.
You just said he's in a different
situation. You keep taking something. No, listen. I'm gonna tell you why you keep getting tripped up. Because when you rephrase it, you take something out. He has a chance more than Mendoza.
But
you keep
why?
making it sound like you keep. Hold on, wait. Stop asking. Stop asking why and digest what I'm saying first. Because when you just repeated what you said, you was like, you're saying. Bro, I just gave y'all a reason. That's why we keep talking about this over and over, and then I'm like,
so because he's done it before, he'll do it again. So Mendoza has won a championship, so does that mean he'll do it again?
Bro, if I seen a person jump from here to there, right? And yeah, it might have been 3 years since I've seen you do it, right? But I've seen you do it. Not only have I seen you do it, I've seen you do it multiple times, right?
So you're literally saying the fact that he's older
this is why y'all don't. This is why y'all not listening.
Who is y'all? I don't.
You. This is why you aren't, because when I get halfway through to what I'm saying, you're trying to draw inference to something else.
It's too long. That's why.
Oh, now it's too long.
Yeah, bro. We've been talking about.
Don't ask me why, because of my opinion. That's why. Is that short enough?
Okay. Yes.
It's my opinion.
So it is your opinion that Kirk Cousins is the better
my
chance
opinion. That's why.
Okay, good. And it is other people's opinion that Kirk Cousins is not good enough to give us 10.
You're entitled to that.
Yeah,
I don't argue that.
Your opinion.
I'm not the one arguing it. I'm not arguing your opinion.
I don't have an opinion. I didn't have an opinion on this.
Well, you do have an opinion. Your opinion is that Mendoza isn't a better. You think Mendoza is a better
quarterback? Yes,
that's your opinion.
Yeah,
I'm not even arguing that.
But that doesn't
never argue that.
That doesn't factor into who starts. I'm not saying Mendoza should start because it's better. I know that Mendoza will not start but it's not because it's not better.
Because he was busy this weekend. I mean, he was busy this offseason.
He was busy this offseason.
I'm just saying that's the reason you gave.
Yes. That's part of the reason. That's part of the reason.
And I never argued it. I never even argued that. I never argued anything you said about your opinion. It's you arguing my opinion.
Which opinion of yours am I arguing?
That I believe that Kirk Cousins give us the better chance to win more games. It ain't even got to be 10 games. He give us the better chance to win more games than Mendoza does. It's just that simple.
Do you want us to argue that with you? Or do you just want to hold that point? Then why are we arguing with you then? We don't want to argue that with you.
You keep asking me questions.
Because we all thought you wanted to make it a conversation. It turns out you don't. You just want us to know that.
No, it's not even about that. We were talking about it earlier, and then you were like, "How did you come to that opinion?" And I'm like, "This is how." And you're still confused, which is fine.
No, I'm not. I'm not confused. Now I get it. You think Kirk Cousins give us the best chance to win 10 games over Mendoza?
No, let's take out the 10 games. Hold on. You're right. But let's even let's even edit that. Let's take the 10 games out. Hold on. Let's take the 10 games out. I think he gives us a better chance to win more games. It ain't even got to be 10 games, more games than Mendoza does. It's that simple.
This is your point, right? This is your point. Cousins gives us a better chance to win more games. But that's an opinion. So you don't want us to argue that. Okay.
No, you can argue it. You can. I got reasons to believe it. I told you why. I said this was the reason why. 25, 82, and 2. If you think that this guy's going to come in and win 10 games when in the last year or 8 games or 7 games, if you think that's your opinion, that's fine. And what I'm saying, based on your opinion, and I'm saying based on your opinion, that means he could win a quarter of the games that the last 10 years of quarterbacks that's been in similar situations could not do.
Okay, that's the line. You're saying because he's a rookie. Statistically speaking, rookies don't win that many games. So you don't believe that. So you don't believe he could be an outlier at all. So
he could be.
No chance. Okay, then how is it that he could be an outlier, but yet Kirk Cousins, who hasn't won 10 games, who hasn't won enough games in the past 3 years, all of a sudden he's going to miraculously just figure it out, even though he hasn't.
Isn't that what an outlier is? Isn't that what an outlier is? Because
so then why is Mendoza not your outlier?
Bro.
If you love Mendoza, why is he not your outlier? Because I'm praising Mendoza as an outlier.
Because I'm going off because I've seen Kirk Cousins do what we're talking about. I haven't seen Mendoza do it.
Exactly. I saw Kirk Cousins I saw Kirk Cousins. We all saw Kirk Cousins for 50 years.
Let me ask you a question. Can I ask you a question?
Yes, please.
Can I ask you a question?
Please do.
Do you think that Kirk Cousins can have an outlier year? Do you think he can have an outlier year?
I think. Do you want me to honestly answer? I think Kirk Cousins already had that. It's over for him. It's 38.
How many of them?
He already had that. He had like four seasons where he got 4,000 yards, right? And
so it wouldn't be an outlier if he did it 4 times. It's not an outlier if he did it 4 times, bro.
For being a 3rd-round pick who wasn't supposed to be an NFL starter, that's an outlier. Remember, he was drafted right behind another quarterback.
If you do so 4 times, that's not an outlier, bro.
I get it. He's been great. I get that. But even if he's not an outlier, he hasn't done it for the past 3 years. So you're saying that Kirk Cousins
keep saying 3 years. How many yards did he throw in that?
It was right last year. It was 2 years ago. So he hasn't done it for 3 years. By the time the season starts, he hasn't done it. What you're saying.
Now you want to count the season that ain't even went by yet.
He hasn't done it for 3 years, though. So what makes you think he'll do it again? You're saying that you believe he is going to bounce back. He's going to be the comeback.
No, it's not no bounce back.
NFL. You just said he's going to be the comeback player of the NFL, right?
Yeah, that's not. Well, if you want to say bounce back, okay, cool, bounce back. And what I'm telling you is it ain't really a bounce back because he showed it last year. He started 8 games and won 5 of them.
And I'm saying, cool. I don't really care either way. If we win 8 games,
right.
I don't care that he's done it before. That's what I'm.
No, we're talking about last year. I ain't talking about before.
I know, but I'm trying to figure out, and I think other people are trying to figure out why you're defending Kirk Cousins so much from last year.
Because you, I don't know why you guys not understanding what's being said.
None of us know what he's going to do, right?
Because you're asking me, how do I come to the conclusion? Okay, this is how I come to the conclusion. I've seen this guy do it before.
Our conclusion. You can't dismiss our conclusion. Yeah,
I didn't dismiss it. You asked me about my conclusion. I'm not asking you about your conclusion. I'm not defending I'm not even debating your conclusion.
What is my conclusion?
Your conclusion is that Mendoza is a better quarterback than Kirk Cousins. Kirk Cousins is too old. He hasn't done it in multiple seasons, and you don't see him doing it now, and you don't think that he's going to be able to even get a starting job next year. What have I missed?
Yeah, okay, you got all that. So what's negative about all of that? That's.
I didn't say nothing was negative. I didn't say it was negative or positive.
So why did you just say so that you think I'm right?
I don't know. I don't care. That's your opinion.
Okay.
You're entitled to it. Doesn't matter to me like that personally. Like it doesn't matter that you're right or wrong because time is going to tell who's right or wrong. So I can't prove you right or wrong right now. So if that's your opinion and you're basing it on whatever you're basing it on, cool. But then when I say something, don't sit there and say, well, you're in love with this guy, or I don't know why you're defending this guy so much. And I'm like, no, I'm just telling you, well, how did I come to that conclusion? It could have been Kirk. It could have been Kirk Cousins. It could have been Geno Smith. It could have been Gardner Minshew. It could have been any quarterback. And I would have been like, okay.
Is that what it? As long as you're a Raider, you're going to root for them.
Bro, you guys keep making it like I'm rooting for somebody. I'm not rooting for anybody.
I'm rooting for Mendoza.
I'm not rooting for anybody right now. I'm rooting for whoever starts. That's who I'm rooting for. I don't care if
we don't know who starts.
If Aiden, and that's why I said it doesn't matter. If Aiden O'Connell started, that's who I'm rooting for.
Okay,
I don't understand.
Starter, right? so we can root against somebody. And a lot of Raider Nation, not even me, a lot of Raider Nation are rooting against Kirk Cousins.
Okay.
Yeah. It's not even me, but but you don't seem to like that because they're
no,
attacking.
I don't care.
Okay.
I don't care who y'all rooting for, because the thing about it is, especially right now, if you're rooting for a quarterback that I know that's probably not going to start, that's cool. That means you're biased.
Okay.
Me, I'm not rooting for none of them until I see who's going to start.
Okay, so you're not biased towards Kirk Cousins either. Because
No,
you make it seem like he is already
biased. I might have some bias based on what I think is the reality of it. Yeah, there might be a level of bias, because we all have some kind of implicit bias. But what I'm saying is I'm not so biased to the point where I'm sitting up there saying, you know what, forget Mendoza because I like Kirk Cousins. That's how y'all sitting up there that's how you're making this sound like. And I said you.
Black. I think you are assuming that we are doing that. But remember, we're not talking about Kirk Cousins. You are talking about Kirk Cousins. I didn't bring it up. You brought it. No, here's what I'm saying. Okay. I'm saying, like, when you bring it up.
You asked for the video. You asked for the video, right?
Which video?
I wanted to talk about it, but I was just saying, what I said was the most important thing that everybody's looking at in camp is this competition. And I'm saying it's not really a competition because Kirk Cousins is going to start. And then we went into that
either. But that's what starts the debate. That's it right there. You just said we don't have a starter, right? So how are you going to say he's going to start?
Okay, because we just sat there and said Kubiak said so.
Yeah, but they could just be making that up.
Owner says
saying things because training camp hasn't even started yet.
Yeah, they could be saying things.
Okay, do you really think Kubiak right now has already put Kirk Cousins down as the sure starter under any circumstance?
No, man.
Okay.
No.
Okay, then we don't know, right?
You don't know. Don't speak for yourself. I know.
I don't know who to start, but you know. Okay, well, that's
I got a great idea. I got a great idea.
That's why they
I don't know. Listen to my answer. This is why y'all don't never know nothing. That's why you can't hear what I'm saying, because I'm not saying no. I don't know 100% who's starting. No, I don't. Okay. I don't know 100%. Unequivocally, no, I don't know 100%. I don't know 100%. I don't know 100%. I don't know.
Okay, so what's the percentage of that we do know?
So do you know what a bell curve is?
Yeah.
You know what? Hold on. Can I answer the question? So now I got to answer the question in one word.
Like that is why
let me answer the question in one word now, since I can't.
Look, when you say things like, you know what a bell curve is? That's why.
So what's the percentage? What's the percentage? 68.2%.
Okay, 68 There's a 68. I mean, you can probably go look it up in Vegas betting. There is a percentage. There is.
Okay.
I mean, okay. But you think it's pretty high percentage that Kirk Cousins will start. But maybe the emotion is what people are confusing here. Because again, I don't have a stake in this. I don't even know Kirk Cousins' middle name. No, I don't. I really don't. Till today, I literally thought Kirk Cousins was going to go.
So how can you analytically look at our offense and not know who the quarterback or don't know about the quarterback? How can you do that?
This is why. Do you want me to give full answer? The reason why is age does matter. Kirk Cousins is 38 years old. Does that mean he's washed? No, it doesn't. But again, is anybody really going to argue that a 38-year-old may not be able to play football at the same age rate as a 22-year-old? And yes, Mendoza is a rookie, but he is the #1 drafted rookie, which means in all of college football, he was above the rest, meaning he was the most pro-ready of every single college football player last year. And he proved it by winning the Heisman Trophy and winning the national championship. It's not against NFL talent. Okay, fine. Well, what's the actual difference between NFL talent and college talent? Experience, right? It's just age, right? Is it possible that a #1 drafted Heisman Trophy winning, college football trophy winning has more football knowledge than veterans? Yeah, that is actually possible. It is actually possible that Mendoza has more football knowledge than a Kirk Cousins. because he might be able to just pick up on those things much quicker. That's why, again, he's the #1 overall pick, Heisman Trophy winner, national championship winner. Okay, to Kirk Cousins, I get it. He's a veteran. But he's a veteran that hasn't really won a lot of really important games. And yes, people will use this against them. If coaches are saying Mendoza should start, ask yourself then, is Clint Kubiak just smarter than every other coach in the NFL who's saying, you got a shiny good kid over there. You should probably start him week 1. Is that what we're saying? That Clint Kubiak is just smarter than all of them?
Is that who's saying? You said.
I said there are a lot of coaches now who are saying you should just start Mendoza because meaning that they think he's more ready than Cousins is. So are they wrong? Doug Peterson just said it. Doug Peterson, Herman Edwards said it. Herman Edwards said it.
Herm Edwards.
Yeah, Herm.
Where did Herm Edwards say that?
He said in a Good Morning.
I'm going to assume that you're telling the truth, right? But let's just say it's Herm Edwards. I made
a short on it.
No, like I said, I'm giving you the benefit of the doubt that okay, Herm Edwards and Peterson. That's 2.
I take my benefits. Yeah,
that's 2.
Including a lot of analysts. Again, if this is a conversation, it's because there are a lot of people who also looked at the tapes and they said, honestly, based on the way these two are playing, I would seriously just start Mendoza now because Kirk Cousins isn't going to give you anything more than Mendoza is. That's what the analysts are saying.
Okay, so they're analysts. So okay, check this out. So check this out. Mm-hmm. Whose decision is it?
Whoever decision it is. Yeah, so you're saying because the decision maker has already made a decision, therefore?
No, I'm not saying none of that.
Okay.
I didn't say that.
Okay, who's this?
No, what I said was a question. I wasn't making a statement. I was asking the question.
Whose
the question is whose decision is it?
It would be the offensive committee, meaning the coach, the play callers, the quarterback coach. They will determine together who's more ready. And no, they have not made that decision yet. Yes, we know what we're hearing, but remember, camp hasn't started yet. If you're going based on throws, guess what? Mendoza has a better arm. If we're going based on movement, guess what? Mendoza has better movement. If we're going based on Mendoza has all of that more. The only thing Mendoza doesn't have more of is NFL experience. Okay, if NFL experience is all it takes to be a starter, then yes, you're right. Cousins would be a starter.
No, don't say I'm right. Don't say I'm right because I didn't say that.
I'm not saying you are. I'm not saying if anybody.
Okay.
Because Mendoza is a better thrower. Mendoza has a better arm. Mendoza is faster. Mendoza has quicker feet. You can go check the tapes. And again, Mendoza is 22 years old, so it's not out of the realm possibility that he would be quicker and have better arm than Kirk Cousins, right? If it's based on those things, and if it's based on who can actually lead a team to a championship, it's Mendoza because he's done that. Cousins hasn't done that. That's my point. Okay. Why would I not? Why would I not want Mendoza? Do I want Mendoza to start over Cousins right now? No, I don't. But remember, at the beginning, when we first started, I said if Mendoza starts, actually, I'm happy with that. Either way, you can go either way. Because skill-wise, I do believe Mendoza does have more skills than Kirk Cousins. The actual reason I want Cousins to start is for the rest of the offense, particularly the O-line, to get it together so that if someone's going to break a leg, it'll be Kirk Cousins breaking a leg and not Mendoza. That's the actual reason I want Cousins to start. For injuries. That's it.
Okay. So that's how you feel about it, right? Right.
Yeah.
So
and the reason why is because I'm thinking about the franchise 10 years down the road.
Okay. Right.
Yeah.
And so that's the reason why you feel the way you feel. And I can see that. It even makes logical sense. It makes logical sense. And I never even debated it once. So that's like I asked you a question about quarterbacks in general, and the first thing about your mouth was Kirk Cousins, and I'm like, y'all keep thinking it's a Kirk Cousins thing. It's not. Well, you keep thinking
805 Raider just brought up a really good point.
Hold on, it's not a Kirk Cousins thing. It's I think this quarterback gives us the opportunity to win more games than this guy in this situation. That's it.
based on facts, right? Based on facts, what would you say those facts are? Which you've already listed. He's done it before, right? So when was it? How many 10 seasons?
No, bro. I don't have to use Kirk Cousins to make my argument. That's my whole point. I'm gonna tell y'all what my whole argument. My whole argument had nothing to do with Kirk Cousins. My argument had to do with 25, 82, and 2.
Right.
That has nothing to do with Kirk Cousins.
Yes,
nothing at all.
Okay. And in the entire history of the NFL, younger quarterbacks are systematically better than 38-year-old quarterbacks. Systematically better on every ground.
If you say so.
That's not an opinion. That's just fact.
So where's the fact that?
Most elite quarterbacks now are between the ages 25 and 30. They're not 38.
What?
Elite quarterbacks right now. Who are the elite quarterbacks right now?
Bro.
Where would you rank Kirk Cousins?
Hold on, wait. Before you start going all over the place now, because you made a statement, right? Let's look. Can I quantify the statement first before we start giving all these moving the parts, right? So you're saying this is what you're saying. You're saying most elite quarterbacks in today's NFL now, right? Is that, or are we talking about the history? Because what you said was the history. Because if we're going to talk about the history of the game,
the entire history of the NFL, younger quarterbacks are definitely better than older quarterbacks.
I don't agree with that. But since you said you got, hold on.
Let's look at the Super Bowl.
Hold on.
Who is more Super Bowls? Younger quarterbacks or older quarterbacks?
Well, I could just look at Tom Brady won in the Super Bowl. Hold on, bro. Why do you? Okay, go ahead.
Tom Brady won most of his Super Bowls as a younger quarterback.
Can I make my statement? Can I make my statement though?
Okay.
He won a Super Bowl at 38, 41. Like he won Super Bowls. But if you want to sit there and say because you asked me about younger, older quarterbacks, and what I will tell you is, just my opinion, I don't have the numbers for all of the whole, and I will find out by the morning of all the quarterbacks and the average age of the quarterbacks that won Super Bowls, but I'll bet you that it's going to be closer to 35 than 25.
Just look at the last 15 years. Who's winning Super Bowls? Just look at the last 15 years. Who's won the Super Bowl? Patrick Mahomes, Jalen Hurts. Okay, who is the oldest quarterback to ever win a Super Bowl past the age of 35? How many quarterbacks have won a Super Bowl? Because this is about Super Bowl, right?
The greatest quarterback of all time.
It's not about competency right now. It's about Super Bowl, right? Okay, fine. Who is more likely to give the Raiders a Super Bowl? Kirk Cousins at his age or Fernando Mendoza?
Bro, I'm not in that.
I'm not in that. That's not an opinion. It's a question. It's a question. So you don't want to answer. Raider Nation.
No, I can answer it. I can answer it.
Yeah, who do you think
is more likely? I can answer it. But the thing about it is, you in this conversation, and not just when I say y'all, I don't mean just you. I'm talking about people out there in YouTube that like to question me the same thing, the same way, or they like to run to their platform and try to talk about me, but not name me, but they have me in mind when they're saying what they say, you know what I'm saying? And they're saying that, and they're watching this, and I'm talking about you and them. And what I'm saying is, no, it's not a matter of me thinking that this guy is this, and this guy is that. I'm looking at two quarterbacks. And if I was in this situation, what would I do? Because had Kirk, let's just say it wasn't Kirk Cousins in this situation, and it was some other quarterback. Matter of fact, let's just take, like I said earlier, let's take Kirk Cousins out of this. And it was AOC, and it was Kirk Cousins, and the third, and the undrafted quarterback that we got. You know who I would say start? Who you think I would say start?
Cousins?
No. All right, here's my question again. If we take Kirk Cousins out of the equation, and the three quarterbacks that we have is Carter,
Mendoza,
AOC, and Fernando. Who do you think I would say start?
You would say Fernando starts because obviously you would.
So obviously,
we know why you're saying Kirk Cousins should start. We know that, but it's our opinion that we don't agree with you because he's done it before. Because he's done it before, and we're saying
but you don't agree with me, right?
No,
but you don't
it
agree with
doesn't,
me, right?
because
So hold on, wait,
because
stop.
before
Hold on,
isn't
stop.
now.
No, stop. So once I said that, you said, but we don't agree with you, right? That's fine. But y'all ain't gotta try to argue my point to make sense to you.
No, we don't though. Dude, how many people actually argue Cousins with you? Because it ain't me. Because this is the first time I've done it.
No, I'm talking about tonight. I'm talking about tonight. You arguing me down about, and I'm like, okay, I'm just giving you my opinion.
No. I'm not even doing that. Like, if you really think that, like, yeah, that's fine. We'll find out. It's not like I'm like, oh, you will never do. I don't care. If he does it, great. Do I think you'll win 10 games? No, I don't think you'll win 10 games.
No, I didn't say nothing about 10 games.
Okay,
I never thought he was going to win 10 games.
So how many games do you think will win with Cousins? Anybody in this nation, you can say it. How many games with Cousins?
The floor is 6 and the ceiling is 8. But if I had to pick a number, my number is 7. I've been consistent with that.
That's what everyone said. Yeah,
we've
all said that. Yeah, we've all said that. I'm saying I'm only okay with that because of last year. If last year didn't happen, if last year was like 6 wins, I would not be okay with the Kirk Cousins starting. But last year was so bad that, you know what? I don't really care who starts as long as they're better than what we had last year. We don't really know that till the season starts. So ultimately, and I've always said this, I don't really know who's going to start. I know what the coaches have said, but no, I don't really think the coach means that in the sense that if Mendoza performs better, no, he's a rookie. There's no way we can start him. I don't think that's the case either. I just think they're saying, just based on experience, before we even get to camp, Cousins is the presumptive starter. Right, because he's been the starter in the NFL for a long time. That doesn't mean he's going to start this year, although it does most likely mean that he's going to start this year. But if he starts this year, it's not because he's better than Mendoza. And I mean that. It's not because it's better than Mendoza. It's because the team isn't quite ready yet for Mendoza. Because you're assuming that if Cousins starts, it's because Mendoza isn't ready. No, if Cousins starts,
no, you're assuming that's what I'm assuming. Ready. No, that's what you're assuming that I'm assuming.
If that's not what you're assuming, then tell us what you're assuming.
That's not what I'm assuming. But here's my question. I'm not assuming anything. I told you what I was thinking. There's nothing to figure out. But this is my question to you about what you just said.
Right.
If that was the case, why did they even bring him in to begin with when we already had a quarterback to do that with?
You mean with Cousins? Why did they bring in Cousins when we already had Mendoza?
No, when we had AOC to do that with already.
Why did they bring? Because AOC. What? No, they brought in Cousins because AOC wasn't a good quarterback.
No, wait a minute.
We've seen that already.
Wait a minute. Time out. Hold on now. Wait a minute. So we brought in Kirk Cousins because AOC wasn't a good enough quarterback to start over Mendoza and give Mendoza time to learn the offense, right? Is that what you're saying?
No. Bringing in Kirk Cousins really had to do with we needed a quarterback. Now, did we know we were going to draft Mendoza? Actually, till we drafted Mendoza, we didn't really know because Mendoza could have broken a leg like 2 days before the draft. So we brought in Cousins because we didn't have a quarterback. And Cousins was really cheap. Remember, if Cousins wasn't cheap, we wouldn't have brought him in. It doesn't matter how good he is. We only brought him in because it's like $10 million.
So why did you have to do that when you already had a quarterback on the roster, though?
Because if you have something good and it's cheap, just add it on. Why not?
So who's better?
You already got a Lamborghini. You already got a Ferrari. Just add a BMW. Who cares?
You better not add a BMW if you got a Ferrari and a Lamborghini. You better not do that.
That was a terrible analogy.
Hey, but so is AOC better than? Would you start AOC over Kirk Cousins?
Look, the battle is this. Is Kirk Cousins going to start? I guess he will, but it's not because it's necessarily better than the quarterbacks. I don't even think it's necessarily better than AOC. I just think that he's going to start because Ken Kubiak is more familiar with him. That's the only reason. I mean, that's it. Because look, does Kubiak actually know that Kirk Cousins is a better quarterback than AOC? Would you say that he knows that?
Yes, he knows
that
that
for sure. How does he know that?
Because why do you think they have scouts?
How does he know that? Okay.
Why do you think they have? I'm trying to tell y'all because that's why they have scouts.
Okay.
That's why they watch film. Because based on if you don't know until they show up, then there's no need to scout someone because they could play better on this day than another day.
Okay.
You can project what a player lefts and rights and ups and downs are. My thing about it is this: if you think that the only reason why they brought him in was because he was cheap, then I'm like, okay, cool. Now, why isn't that what you said?
No. I just heard news, sad news. Sorry, go ahead.
Sad news.
No, it's not that bad. No, it's not. It's a video game. Okay. The God of War live action will be recast.
Oh, okay. Because I'll drop all this for any of that. This ain't that important to me like that. I'm just saying, like, if we already had a situation and we knew we were going to get Mendoza, and if Mendoza was a better quarterback, and we just needed somebody to stand there long enough to
why
take
didn't we
shots
just use
and
AOC?
get their leg, why didn't we just use AOC to do that?
That says more about AOC than about Mendoza, though. So we've seen AOC.
So here's my
AOC.
final question.
Right.
No, go ahead. You seen AOC?
I'm not going to try and guess your follow-up question, but I would say we've also seen Cousins, and in the last 3 years, that I have not seen or heard from the NFL anything about Cousins that suggests to me that he's that much better than AOC. We brought him in because he was cheap and he's an option that knows the playbook so he can teach the playbook. I think if AOC plays better during training camp than Cousins, AOC will be starting over Cousins. Cousins is there because he knows the playbook and because he was cheap. We all agree on that, right? You don't.
No, I don't agree with that.
We were not going to spend $30 million on Cousins.
I don't agree with that.
I don't think Spytek would have spent $30 million on Cousins.
I think if I had to take an educated guess, I would think that if Kirk Cousins was going to require a whole bunch of money, then we would have had to think: is it worth the investment to do that?
And I think the answer
it depends on how much they talking. Now, I don't know how much it's worth to Clint Kubiak, because I'm pretty sure Clint Kubiak had this question in mind, and this is the question I'm asking you and the chat. Do you think Clint Kubiak said, which one of these quarterbacks, we'll talk about AOC, who's on the roster, all the free agent quarterbacks, and the quarterbacks in the draft, he had to ask himself, which one of these quarterbacks give me the best position to win? Do you think that's fair? I'm talking about going into this year.
I don't think he was thinking that at all.
Oh, so you think he was like, forget this year?
No, I literally think the thought was, we need to get Mendoza to be a franchise quarterback. What is the best way to do that? And the decision was the best way to do that. Kirk Cousins is cheap. He knows the playbook. At the very least, he's going to be able to teach this stuff. Now, he's coming off of injury because remember, when the Falcons got him, Kirk Cousins specifically said he wasn't there to mentor. He hasn't said that this year because I think Nation, can we confirm that he said that in the same way that he said that about Penix? Because it says something like that, but I'm going to say this,
bro.
Part of Kubiak
says he's not. Kubiak said he's not. He said that's what coaches are here for. He's not here to coach him.
But what do you want the coach to say, man? That no, we just brought him here to coach the rookie.
No, because that's the truth.
No,
because that's the truth.
Say.
Oh, okay, you can decipher coach speak out of that, but you can't decipher what the best player is going to play mean. Okay, got it.
Yes, coaches have coaches speak. A coach will never say we brought Cousins here to just a mentor. A coach will never say that.
No,
but Raider Nation knows that. We all know we brought in Cousins to mentor.
What does mentor mean? What does mentor mean?
Mentor means you know the playbook. Put it this way: if Kirk Cousins didn't know the playbook, he would not be a Raider.
You don't think AOC can mentor? You don't think AOC can mentor Fernando?
The AOC doesn't know the playbook. He doesn't know Kubiak's playbook. Cousins does. I'm sorry. That's what I see. I don't know why else you would do it though, because I don't know what else. How did you sell Cousins to Mark Davis? Mark Davis is like, we had Geno last year. You want to bring Cousins in and then draft the Mendoza? Wait, didn't the Falcons just do that? I think Cousins was brought in specifically to mentor, and because he was cheap.
Okay. All right.
The staff didn't make up this arrangement. What arrangement? With Cousins?
No, what go ahead. You can answer, Webb, because this is the first time I'm looking at the chat. Like,
yeah, what's
the arrangement. I'm not even gonna speak for him. Let me see if he answered, because he's pretty quick when he answers.
Oh yeah, Mendoza did have the playbook studying way before the draft. Carr doesn't. No. Even if Carr knew the playbook, which he does from the 1 year with them, but you wouldn't have brought in Carr for other reasons other than the playbook. Yep.
Hey,
yep.
Alfredo, this is the thing about Kirk Cousins' contract next year. The Raiders have a team option. They will decline the team option, and they will go back to the table and say, hey, we ain't gonna give you $30 million, but you balled out, so we'll give you $20 million, $18 million, whatever the number is. I don't know what the number is. I'm just using it as a number. And if he said, okay, cool, let's run it back, then they sign a new contract. If he says, nah, that's too low, I'm gonna try myself in the free market, then he'll walk away from the Raiders. That's what happened. We're not on the hook for $30 million
exactly.
Regardless. Because we have a team option that could be declined.
Yeah,
that will be declined.
We're only on the hook for like $10 million of his money.
Yeah.
But I don't even want to. I hope we don't have this conversation next year with Kirk Cousins. I really do. I don't. This is the thing. This is not a conversation Raider Nation as a whole wants to be having. I don't think so. I think this is a conversation that ends the moment the season starts, and hopefully it starts well. Because if we keep talking about Kirk Cousins throughout the season, I don't think it's going to be a good conversation, right?
No, I understand.
I think the best case scenario was for Cousins to come in, and there would be no conversation. He just balls out.
Now I understand
right?
why people are ignoring Kirk Cousins, because it's not that I'm pro Kirk Cousins because I know he's going to be the starter, right?
Right. Yeah.
And that's the reason why.
Yeah,
and that's why I personally, if whatever the biasness that I may have for Kirk Cousins, right, or the affinity that I have for Kirk Cousins, like, yeah, I admired him from afar as a quarterback, right? Mm-hmm. As far as me liking him, like being in, like I don't know until they name him the first, the quarterback. Because if for whatever reason they go into camp and they say, well, you know what, we think we're ready for the Mendoza era now, I'll be like, damn, Kirk. I'll be like, damn, Mendoza that good? I'll be like, he that good?
But he wouldn't say
because we all gotta agree he gotta be that good in order to start over Kirk Cousins. Not that Kirk Cousins is just any backup and he's just gonna come in and beat him out like he gonna beat AOC out. Like, come on, let's not act like AOC and Kirk Cousins
you're right.
is the same backup.
Yeah, Alfredo, you're right. We're only paying Cousins $1.3 million this year. Oh well. No.
Then we gave him $10 million after March.
Yeah, we're paying him $10 million.
Yeah, so we were only on the hook for $11 million for 2 years. $11
million for 2 years. Yeah, oh yeah, we always knew that's what it was. But I still don't think Cousins is going to be here next year. I think he's gone after this year.
That part I don't know. I think that depends on the record.
Yeah. Look, we do got to go. It's 10 o'clock. This is long. But I'm fine with that Cousins is a starter. I don't know who in Raider Nation is fighting that. I'm fine with it, not because Cousins is better. Really, it's because I just don't want anything to happen to Mendoza, like an injury.
Okay.
That's it.
Well, you could have did that. You could have did that with AOC, though.
No, AOC doesn't know the playbook.
AOC just learned. You don't think AOC is smarter in the playbook than Mendoza?
Well, once you know it, you can start to get into the nuances. AOC would know it, but Cousins would know the nuances because he was in it for multiple years, right? Yeah, he would just know the nuances. And I don't want AOC mentoring Mendoza. That's like a future Hall of Famer getting mentored by Walmart football. No, that seems kind of rude to say that.
Well, Kubiak wasn't the best quarterback, but look what he is now.
You mean Kubiak? Oh, Kubiak.
I'm talking about Kubiak, the backup for John Elway. I'm like, you'd have never thought he was going to be a genius at this.
I would have thought. I could have thought that.
I mean, usually the best players don't make the best coaches, but I get what you're saying too, though.
Yeah,
I do get what you're saying.
Quarterbacks do tend to come back, especially like backup quarterbacks do tend to come back and make pretty good. Like Kellen Moore is a backup.
Yeah, a lot of backup quarterbacks. But Peterson ain't one of them because he played quarterback too.
Doug Peterson was a backup, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and he became a good coach. Well,
was he a good coach or he won a Super Bowl?
He won a Super Bowl. You can't take that away. That's the thing. When you get the ring, it's like, you got nothing else, you know.
Yeah, look, and he only got that because Nick Foles bailed him out. Nick Foles bailed him out.
And Nick Foles bailed him out, but he was a terrible quarterback who just got rich off of one season. So did Nick Foles bail him out, or did Doug Peterson just make Nick Foles a really rich man?
No, maybe both.
Yeah,
maybe both.
Because after that, Nick Foles signed himself a huge contract.
He did. Yeah, he did. Yeah, he did.
I got a Super Bowl and a fat load of cash. I'm gone.
well, because you get paid for what you've done, not what you projected to do.
Cousins got paid for what he's done. $1.3 million.
No, that ain't how much he making. That ain't how much he making.
He got paid $10 million for what he's done. I agree.
Then you got to go to Atlanta books and see how much they owe him because I think they owe him like $18 million.
Yeah, they're stupid. We're not. That's why their coaches that got fired.
No, because the reason why that happened was because they was playing those games with Kirk Cousins. What they were supposed to do is make Kirk Cousins their franchise quarterback, but what they did was they tried to undermine him with Penix, and then Penix didn't pan out, and so now what happened is Kirk Cousins is sticking it to him and not playing for him, and so consequently the GM got fired, the coach got fired, and Penix is fighting for his job against Tua.
Yo, we gotta end, man. My wife is saying we gotta keep you guys wanting more.
Wifey, he gone, y'all. Hey, we appreciate. Hey, thank y'all for hacking into the show. We definitely gonna talk about defense. We appreciate the love. We gotta continue.
We were supposed to talk about defense today. We were supposed to talk about defense.
We're gonna talk about defense tomorrow. I promise. I promise we're gonna talk about defense tomorrow. We appreciate the love. We appreciate the loyalty. There's only one nation, and that's the Raider Nation. Because he's a Raider, you're a Raider, you're a Raider, from the Bay to LA to Las Vegas.
Even you in chat, you're a Raider.
Yeah, you're a Raider too. Much love, y'all.
I'm a Raider from the Bay to LA to Las Vegas. Rest in peace to Al Davis.